The belts are dropping. The cracks are forming. Which championship will Mercedes Moné lose next? And what kind of CEO will be there returning to AEW? We shall find out. What's up, sickos? It's me. It's Bix. And this is Don't Call Me Diva, where we talk AEW and affiliated women's wrestling. We keep this show in the realm of kayfabe and fun, and in doing so, we may have created slight a bit of lore here in Divaville. So if you're new and want to know more about me and what the fuck is going on, go check out episode 1, will you? Because right now, you're in episode 41, and holy shit! A lot has happened in 2 weeks. Woo! By the way, before we get into like the world of like unreality, I've been adulting way too much, so pardon moi for my recent absences. I was gonna say abscesses. It's a completely different kind of problem. So yeah. But first, before we get into all of that, we must pay homage to the patron saint of DCMD, Layla Gray. We don't have an update or anything about our queen. We're just saying hi. We have a lot of women's wrestling to waffle on about in this episode, so everyone say hello and a lovely goodbye to Layla Gray, who should actually be recovering from surgery as we speak. Oh, two amazing pay-per-views happened over the weekend, once again proving how wanted and also very appreciated all like women's wrestling pay-per-view events are. Eve's Wrestle Kingdom and CMLL's La Noche de la Amazonas both brought the women's division from CMLL and AEW and also Stardom together. Championships were retained and lust for new championships to arise from the ashes. Whew, Tony Khan, TK, bro, you're basically family right now. You must have seen all the threads that have been going around like for months, probably years. But I know they especially ramped up this like these last couple of weeks. But give us an all women's pay-per-view. God damn it. You can sprinkle it in from the other three companies if you want to. But even if you don't want to, you have plenty across, like, even if you just went into like the strictly AEW roster, you like could do a all women's pay-per-view. If you wanted to like spread it out to the Ring of Honor, because I think you should, because then we've got like Athena and Red Velvet. I was also, I don't know why I was about to call her Velvet Vixen. Red Velvet and also Deonna Purrazzo with their belts as well. Hello, just the belts alone would make up a pay-per-view. See, look, I'm doing a job for you. You have way more money than I do for me to be giving you ideas for free, okay? But, we, the sickos, and also the non-sickos alike, desperately want this. So come on, it's like you're basically going to be fucking, sloshing out money from your fucking billionaire JJ. Do it. Well, well. The belt and once boat collector herself has been defeated and has lost three of her championships since we last spoke. It has not been the fortnight of Monet, which must be hitting the CEO's ego very hard. Ugh. The double contracted Persephone, she defeated Mercedes for the CMLL World Championship, which Mercedes Moné took very badly, but we always knew that she would. Persephone smushed her with a perfect springboard frog splash and Mercedes was pinned clean. No dirty deeds were involved. Mercedes gear for this event, if you have not seen it, oh my God, go look at a picture. Jesus Christ. It was stunning. Absolutely outstanding in teal and animal print. She came out to the ring in a Mayan inspired jaguar battle gear, hence the teal and such, putting on also a jaguar lucha mask as well, but this was kind of to take the piss and be like respectful. One of the lucha. Yeah. Then it gives a double finger to the crowd, followed by a crotch chop. A crotch chop? No, that's a different kind of profession. A crotch chop, which took me completely by surprise and made me absolutely cackle because I don't think I've ever seen Persephone Monet, Mercedes Monet ever do a crotch chop before. Hilarious. Persephone nopes the fuck out of all of that and she just begins the battle. Persephone herself was in a black and gold and she looked incredible. Our very own Ref Aubrey was there to officiate the event, and not even she could keep the CEO under control. Mercedes starts off this match with a lot of shenanigans, as you could imagine, even going so far as to put the Jaguar Lucha mask on Persephone backwards and choking her on the ropes. You can see our CEO is in fine form. This just pissed off Persephone, though. She really should have known more. After she cracks Monet in the face with a headbutt, ugh, Mercedes had to deal with a lot of pain once she pissed off Persephone. Monet tries to end things quickly, of course, with some, cute little roll-ups, which don't work. But her transition into the statement maker was some absolutely glorious wrestling. Whew, which then inspired a flurry of beautiful mat wrestling and counterpins. Mercedes did get frustrated a few times, as is to be expected, and seemed to be distracted because of that. So of course, Persephone is a really, really tough like challenger, but Mercedes wasn't doing her battle brain, much good either. A surprise Megan Bain was ringside for this match in support of Mercedes, which was weird if you forget the fact that, this is basically AEW versus CMLL. So anyone from AEW over here is like on that side. And they always have someone ringside, on the team, so to speak. They being CMLL. Monet put Persephone's arm through a gauntlet of pain, which was very smart, with multiple submissions that were locked in deep and for very long periods of time. Because there was no way that Persephone was going to submit unless she was completely out of it. Monet always feels better when she is hurting someone. So you could see that her confidence was coming back. Yet as soon as my bad. Marina Mexico starts getting behind Persephone to give her a mighty power boost. Mercedes then starts panicking. And she's like looking out at the crowd, like pleading with them to just shut the fuck up. But Mexico is loud and powerful, and they bring Persephone up to her feet. Whilst, she's elbowing Monet deep into that midsection. The dance of furious violence begins again, and even though Persephone is favoring her right arm, she beats through the pain, hits Persephone, hits Mercedes over the head with an impressive fall-away slam with a lovely little leg hook. The CEO hit the mat with a very and Persephone explodes with a battle cry from her deepest depths, while Mercedes gasps for her breath on the canvas, just lays out, trying not to die. Persephone does not stay out of danger herself, though. A beautiful counter backstabber from Mercedes brings Persephone off her feet and into the Jujikatame on her back. Mercedes was not holding back with that either. She was locked onto her arm like a boa constrictor. The absolute tough chick that Persephone is, though, powers through it and puts Mercedes onto her shoulder, making her have to break the submission or get counted out. This knocks the champion's confidence back again, and she is visibly shooketh. Persephone uses kicks and knees to keep the CEO at a distance and sends her flying across the ring with a shotgun drop kick off the top rope. But that will not keep Monet down for their three. Now it's Persephone's turn to start getting a bit frustrated. Persephone has to shake out her injured arm before picking up Mercedes for the crucifix bomb. And this hesitation gives Mercedes the opportunity to come up with a plan, and she wriggles out of Persephone's grasp. Mercedes nails her with another backstabber, but this time transitions into the statement maker, and Persephone is once again in trouble. Mwah, beautiful little transition. She uses her power, though, to slowly drag them both over to the ropes, but Mercedes, pulls her whole rope break counter move and pushes off the ropes with her foot. This does not go to her usual plan, though, and instead, this ends up helping Persephone. As Mercedes rolls backwards, you see, over Persephone. Persephone counters with Monet on her shoulders, and then she just gets to her feet with incredible power. She then flips Monet into the Liger bomb position and slams her down into the mat, dead center of the ring. Where Forbury goes to counter pin, but Persephone is spent. She's like, I can't, and just like flops back. And both of the wrestlers are completely laid out, and the crowd is going bazonkers. They finally slowly get to their feet and begin to battle once again. The cheers behind Persephone are thunderous, and the boos behind Monet are even more so. A nicely timed sunset flip into the turnbuckles puts Persephone in a very dangerous position. She has no ability, you see, to protect herself, and she gets the running meteor to her face. Persephone does not allow her to get the window, and she counts out at two. Yeah, fuels Mercedes, and she gets up to her feet first. She grabs Persephone and tries to backpack her for the Monet maker, but Persephone engages in kicky feet and backslides Monet into a pin with a beautiful bridge. Oh, Persephone gets so close, Mercedes just slips out of the pin before three. Terrified, Monet runs off the ropes, but gets taken out by Persephone's brutal spear. Mercedes rolls and rolls and rolls to freedom and rolls out of the ring to where Megan Bayne is standing for moral support. Now you see, like I said before, CMLL and AEW are in CMLL, AEW are the invading bad guys. So as tradition, a luchadora, is in the corner of the competitors. So since Megan and Olympia battled earlier on the evening, they are now the ones in the corner of each other's person. I don't think this is going to, don't expect this kind of stuff to bleed too much into AEW. Is all I'm saying. But then who knows what could happen between now and then and the time that Mercedes comes back, who knows. Anyway, Persephone decides to take Megan Bayne out of the question altogether, which is smart. She wasn't doing anything with a torpe kind of situation, and Bayne crashes into the barricade. Unfortunately for Persephone, this left her head very vulnerable, and it quickly gets yoinked by Mercedes and repeatedly slammed into the ring apron. The crowd rain down boos as Mercedes looks out at them all, very satisfied with herself. She gets particularly dickish, though, when she sees that Persephone's parents are in the front and just starts disrespecting her even more. Mercedes gets up onto the ring apron, but for something, but she just made herself a very easy target for Persephone to yoink. And yoink her, she does, right up onto her shoulders once again. Persephone adjusts her footing, so she is now directly in front of her familiar, blows multiple kisses, and then slams Mercedes Monet's face right on top of the top of Le Barricade with an electric chair face buster, for reals, face butter, no. And that was how she died. R.I.P. Mercedes Monet. But like a zombie coming back from the dead. And Persephone's expertly done Orihara springboard moonsault ends up taking out Olympia instead of Monet. As Persephone realizes what the fuck just happened, Mercedes scampers up onto the apron and running dives a meteora through Persephone and takes her off of her feet. Monet rolls Persephone back into that ring and goes for a cover, but it is still only a two. Both helpers for either side are now taken out. The CEO is overcome by frustration once again. She stamps her feet in quite the tantrum and pleads out to the crowd with open arms. Please, can you give me some power? Why are they not by her side? She seems to be utterly bewildered by why that could be. She's the CEO, for goodness sake. The CMLL World Champion. And they're not on her side. But Persephone, still cradling her arm and gasping for breath on the mat, is the only luchadora that they are going to be behind. As Persephone kicks out of the avalanche meteor from Mercedes, the whole roof of Arena Mexico just lifts up. As Persephone recovers, Mercedes goes through a roller coaster of emotions that read as clear as day on her face. She looks over at Persephone with desire on her face, but not like sexy desire, but like murder desire, which was and grabs her for the Monet maker. Persephone wiggles her butt out of it and tries to get into a cheeky little roll-up, but Monet counters out of it twice. Persephone tries to lift Mercedes up for the crucifix powerbomb, but Mercedes shifts her weight and Persephone's damaged arm just gives out. The crowd are in an absolute frenzy now, and they send Persephone all of their power. She gets Mercedes up for the crucifix bomb again, and this time she extends both of her arms, and Mercedes is locked in. She can do nothing to stop herself from being slammed into the mat, except blow everybody's mind by kicking out at 2.5. And that's exactly what she does. The crowd are not impressed, but they get back behind Persephone. She is still, Monet, laid out on the canvas. Persephone eyes the ropes behind her and she gets the idea. She positions herself on the apron and everyone in Marina Mexico knows exactly what she is about to do. Persephone takes them all in for one last power grab and springboards herself into the ring and slams her body down on Monet with an absolute stunning springboard frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Persephone wins, baby! She unleashes a battle cry from the depths, and the crowd are going mental. Mercedes cracks. Cracks. That was a big belt to lose. She screams while clawing at her own face as the CMLL World Champion CMLL Women's World Championship gets put around her new owner, Persephone's waist. Arena Mexico parties and celebrates. There's like, what's that word? Confetti falling down from everywhere. Bane has emerged. She's back up. She is helping our very enraged Mercedes get back up to the ring, while all the other luchadoras from the back who are in attendance are coming out to celebrate with Persephone. There is a beautiful photo of all of them in the ring. I'm sure you've all seen it. It's so freaking great. But Mercedes Monet is not done picking fights, and she picks fight with the confetti falling down from the ceiling. She kicks at it. She tries to punch the individual pieces of colored paper until she just gives up and starts stomping to the back. It was hilarious. I've never seen something so ridiculous. Have you ever seen anyone get so mad that they have to punch the confetti? It is top tier wrestling nonsense right there. Mercedes Monet is a treasure. Persephone is going to be a mega star. She is still so young. Women's wrestling is not in trouble. Not in trouble at all. And Mercedes did not have time to adjust to the losing of her CMLL title before she was in Cremona in Italy for the Bestia Women's Monet Mayhem, which is at the Magica Club, which was a beautiful venue. Mercedes Monet is battling Swan for her Bestia Women's Championship, the black one with the pink that got punked on to her match in Poland when she won the it's on the tip of my tongue, but now it's gone. You know the one. We know the one. This will be her second defense of the Best Year Women's Championship. Mercedes is the inaugural champion, and she has held it for 223 days as of that match. The Beast Swan is, as far as I can tell, about 5 years into her pro wrestling career. She has a background in dance and like dance, like ballet Jesus dance, ballet Jesus dance. Um, but her character has very much evolved away from that in like those 5 years. It has evolved a lot. Swan has had multiple intergender matches, multiple hardcore intergender matches. She likes to get rough. She seems a bit unhinged, which we always love. Yeah, so let's see what happens. We know what happens, but let's just pretend like we don't. Swan comes out super fucking hyped, who wouldn't, and blue, sparkled as is wrestling tradition, with a rather comfy looking white cape. She runs around the ring, high fives all around, and then gets into the ring to complete her battle entrance. The CEO, Mercedes Moné, has her own comfortable attire in the form of a gorgeous looking, very long black coat that I need in my life. It looks like one of those coats you could just wear and then be like, sweet, I'm just going to lie down and I'm asleep. Nope, my brain just went, nope, we're not. Boom! She holds her championship up high and circles the ring, stopping to give a very lucky, very young, not very young, but very lucky young ringside fan something. I'm not quite too sure what it was, but she handed her something. I think it might have been a glass. Couldn't quite tell because I was here, they were over there. Mercedes battle gear is red, white, and blue with black mesh, all appropriately sparkled and all appropriately strapped up one's thigh. Wazoo. As soon as the bell rings, Mercedes starts to fuck about. She extends her hand to Swan, which makes the crowd go all gooey, bless their little hearts, but then she just slaps her about the face and gets all CEO sassy instead. She then taunts that rather wholesome crowd, and Mercedes then goes straight up to Swan and pushes her like a common schoolyard bully. It's absolutely disgraceful. Miss Monet, you are representing AEW over here. We are trying to change the IWC. Okay. After powering Swan into another corner, Mercedes goes back to the crowd for adoration. She's delulu. The fans instantly start chanting CEO. Perhaps not that delusional. And Mercedes' ego goes into overdrive when she realizes she is the crowd within the palms of her head. She starts a yay, boo chant between herself and Swan, which amuses her greatly, and she cackles in very evil delight, which is a mood that I know quite well. I do love to cackle in evil delight. They lock up again, and this time Swan powers Monet into a corner. She gives the champion some payback, and her home crowds start rallying behind her. Mercedes traps Swan in a side headlock, and the evil cackle comes out once again. At her own glory this time, but this time Swan slides out of her grasp very quickly and she pushes Monet into the ropes, completely interrupting Monet's vibe, and you can see that she is starting to get very pissed at the audacity. Monet battle cries and runs right into a cheeky little roll-up from Swan. A beautiful flurry of counterpins follow, and we dance the dance of violence until Swan gets Mercedes off of her feet with a head scissors takedown. And Mercedes stumbles backwards into the corner of the ring. The crowd are fully behind Swan now, and she takes a moment to acknowledge them, being like, about time, which was a bad idea retrospectively, because she ends up running full steam into a back elbow, which I can't imagine would be very fun. Mercedes glumps onto Swan's arm and does this beautiful transition she does to get into the statement maker, and then she pulls back on Swan's neck without mercy. Swan manages to pry Mercedes' hands apart, but it does not do her no good, as Mercedes just then slams her face into the mat instead. Mercedes gives the crowd a glare, and they instantly start chanting CEO. I'm beginning to think that Italy is a bit fickle. Monet introduces Swan to the top turnbuckles with her face, but stopping to taunt the crowd again, we'll just move on to that. Gave Swan enough time to get her wits back, and she kicky feets herself out of danger. She boots the CEO in the stomach, then slams her into the mat with a lovely butterfly suplex. It looked like Swan was going to connect with a tiger feint kick, but Mercedes nopes the fuck out of the ring and calls for a timeout. There are no times out in wrestling, woman. As she takes a moment to regroup and seethe, Swan patiently, very patiently, waits for her to get back into the ring. When Mercedes finally decides to, Swan tries to cut her off, but she instead gets countered herself and receives a kick to the face, followed by a running meteor that slams her back against the turnbuckles. Mercedes goes for the pin, but Swan kicks out at 2. Mercedes is pissed and unleashes a battle cry of frustration. She takes it all out on Swan's hair follicles by whipping her over by the hair multiple times. Multiple times she threw that woman around the ring by her hair. Once Swan was significantly dizzy, Mercedes bounces off the ropes for momentum and plows a meteora through Swan and pins her down. But Swan refuses to quit and kicks out at 2. Another more painful battle cry is unleashed from the CEO's steps, and she almost pulls her own hair out. Now, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Good stipulation against Mercedes Moné if you really want to win. If you want to take one of her belts, have a known Meteora clause. To be fucked. Mercedes uses her knees to deal more damage to the back of Swan and then stretches her out in the surfboard. The crowd are getting behind Swan again, and with their added boost, Swan manages to power her up to her feet. They combat each other's strength and counter submissions until Mercedes wraps Swan's arm around her in a straitjacket type situation and gives her a brutal backstabber. Loved that modification, by the way. But she still only gets a 2 on Swan. Mercedes is still pissed, but I mean, that's kind of course by now, but tries not to let it overcome her this time, like it happened in Samuel. She goes back to digging her knees into Swan's back. Remember, no Meteora stipulation. Well, no knees. Mercedes, you can't have any knees in this match. All of a sudden, a terrified screech cries comes out of Swan. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It doesn't come out of Swan. A terrified screech sound comes from the ring as Swan is biting down real hard on Mercedes' hand. And that worked. Swan is now activated. They collide in battle once again. This time Swan gets in some good knee shots. Moné will not allow any of this to continue, though, and fights back with her own knee strikes as Swan's back into the corner, and then she's slumped. But she's not out, for it was a ruse. As Mercedes comes in for another running meteor, Swan escapes the corner just in time to avoid it, and Mercedes' knees collide with the ring post. Swan runs the ropes, nailing Mercedes in the jaw with her knees in each pass until a drop kick sends Mercedes flying, and she lands in the corner of the ring as Swan unleashes her own very deep battle cry from the depths. Mercedes is in all the wrong places. Swan runs in and body slams her further into that corner, so now she is like dangling over the middle rope. Swan signals to her fans and delivers her tiger feint kick, or perhaps tiger feint knees, to the face of the CEO. Mercedes is very wobbly, and Swan is on the top rope, preparing to flight. She takes flight, lands the crossbody into the pin, but Moné will not stay down for that dastardly 3. Swan gets the CEO up onto her shoulders, but Mercedes knows what's coming and furiously elbows the side of Swan's head until she drops her. And Mercedes instantly turns it into a backstabber and covers Swan for her own pin. Swan is like, nah bitch, and kicks out at 2. But Mercedes tries again. Swan kicks out again, and Mercedes tries a third time. But when Swan kicks out at 2 once more, the CEO lets out a very frustrated CEO battle cry, and she may have had a mini tantrum in the ring. She did have a tantrum. Mercedes takes a moment to calm down and then goes to a happy place, the 3 amigos. Swan isn't going to allow her to reach Zen, though, and blocks the 3rd suplex. Swan twists Moné around and gets her up onto her shoulders once more, but a more desperate Mercedes goes straight for Swan's eyes and then nails her with another backstabber that transitions beautifully into the statement maker. Swan is tough as heck and manages to resist tapping out and concentrates fully on getting to the ropes. She almost touches him when Mercedes uses that whole like foot push off ropes dealio and she rolls them back into the middle of the ring. This backfired on her again. As they roll back over, Swan escapes and transitions them into a submission of her own. And now it is Monet in the middle of the ring, screaming in pain. Mercedes manages to shift her weight and get Swan on his shoulders, so she would have to release the submission or be pinned. Once free again, things don't go any better for Mercedes, and she finds herself being knocked loopy by another tiger feint kick right to the jaw. This time, Swan manages to get Mercedes up onto her shoulders, and without her escaping, she slams her down to the mat with her very deadly Death Valley driver. Mercedes is out. Swan goes for the pin, and that is how she got that win with the 1 and the 2 and 3. Mercedes is down another championship belt. Woo! The crowd are half ecstatic, half in shock that Swan managed to defeat the world-class top-tier Ultimo women's wrestler Mercedes Moné. But no one is more shocked than that Mercedes Moné. As Mercedes regains consciousness and hears the victor's music is playing, not her own, reality starts to kick in and she is not happy about it. Mercedes Moné packs a massive tantrum as Swan leaves the ring with her Bestia Women's Championship held high. Mercedes death growls a little bit to Swan's music, before going back to stomping and thrashing about in the ring. I reckon she could have a side gig there. You can go watch this match for yourself. It's on YouTube. Huzzah! Go to the Italian Wrestling channel on YouTube, and you will be able to watch this for yourself. Now, thirdly, oh dear, on the 14th of this month, Mercedes Moné had a chance to regain a belt and go back up to 7. But this also meant that she could lose 1 and go back and go down 5. Because it is winner takes all at the Rixie/BZW Apogee event for Rixie Catch at Banger Zone Wrestling in France. Mercedes puts her EWA Women's Championship up against Mila Schmidt's Rixie Women's Championship. So that's the one that she can get. If Mercedes loses 3 times in 1 week, that might crack her deeper than I could ever imagine. And what do you think happened? Wow. I know I have been waiting for this day. We have been calling for like Bonkers Monet pretty much since I started saying words out of my mouth on this show. And, accidentally coined her the boat collector. And my wild imagination took us along from there. But this has got to be stinging. This has got to be stinging. 3 belts, 3 boats, 1 week. Whew, that could break anyone. And it did. Spoiler, this did not go well for a certain CEO. Mila Schmidt was the first holder of that EWA Women's Championship. She was also the 3rd wrestler in the 3-way that they had for the championship when Mercedes won it off of Lex Zavallo. And Mila wants it back. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find any way to watch this match, which is a bit poo-poo. But Mila won. We know she won. Mercedes lost another title. She won it, she being Mila, won it with a really beautiful backpack neck breaker. That's all I know, because I could only find a clip of like just the end thing, which is a bit poo, but it's okay. So I can't give you a gist of what went down during like the battle, but there are a lot of very, very beautiful, very real, and I mean like real as in like, heart real, not like it's not AI real, videos going around of what went on after the match with the celebration in the ring. Mercedes gets very emotional. Her and Mila celebrate. They celebrate together with a sign between it that says more women's wrestling. Yeah, much love, much respect was shown between these 2 wrestlers and the company and also the crowd, which makes me even more poop that I didn't get to see it. Because I just get a feeling that it was a great match, and I'm sure it would have been a brilliant match. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll keep looking. It may be up a little later. Saiba, uh, Minoru Suzuki was also battling at that event. And there is going to be a Colosseum of Blood match as well, which also sounds very exciting. So you see, that whole event sounds really interesting. I'm going to try and find it. So, in saying that, and we now all know the fate of Mercedes Moné. And before we get into a little revolution with a little special guest that I may have hiding in my back pocket, not literally, because I don't think you could, I don't even think I have back pocket. Oh, I do. Yeah, no, couldn't fit. But before we get into that little episode surprise, I want to tell you all what happened on Eve Wrestle Kingdom. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Which you can watch if you pay to become a member on the Eve's YouTube channel. It's like 15 bucks Kiwi for like the tier that you need. I don't know how much that is, and everyone else, you sort it out. Um, I cannot tell you how fucking excited I was to see that Charlie was on this card. Oh my God. And the fact that she was facing Chris Statlander, like, holy fuck. Like, it couldn't be any better. Oh my God, it couldn't be any better. But before I rush straight to that match, we have a really awesome way to start off this match. Oh, and also Eva's Chaos. If you didn't know already, if you don't know already, and you love a bit of chaos campy wrestling, Eve's for you, to be honest. If you love women's wrestling, Eve's for you. If you love wrestling, Eve's for you. Um, but it's chaos, and I love it. Speaking of chaos, I have zero saliva in my mouth. Excuse me. Saliva chaos. So the first match that happened in this Insano event is called a Sudden Death 16 match. 16 because there are 16 wrestlers involved. So like you got two wrestlers that start the match, right? Then every 90 seconds, another wrestler enters the match, okay? You win via pinfall submission, or if you get chucked over the top rope. So it's a bit of everything. The first one out was one of my favorite wrestlers ever. You guys know I freaking love her. Like, can't stop gushing about her. Can't believe I got to see her like live. I was like, there, she was there. But it was Miyu Yamashita, the lady who is everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And then holy flying shitballs, it's Jamie motherfucking Hader. Two insano, like hard-hitting women are going to be starting off this match. Sweet. I'm here for it. Let's fucking go. She circles the ring. Everyone's going fucking hype because she's an absolute Eve OG legend. She gives, Miyu a playful shove. Is it Miyu? I think it's Miyu. Miyu a playful shove as like she stomps past her. Miyu was not impressed with all that. And if you think I'm going to be singing a battle song of hate against Mayu Yamashita, you've lost the plot. But I'm sure you could get the gist that I was grooving when those sweet beats were exploding into the air. I mean, I love the Brawling Birds. I love them, but fuck that goddamn music's a banger. Jamie Hayter and Mayu Yamashita rile up the crowd with like dueling chants because they're just exploding with like, holy shit, are we going to see this? And then they just burst into like full-on strong style wrestling and just beat the living shit out of each other. Miley does go for another quick pin because obviously, she can win this quickly. Boom, she's gone. The winner of this gets a shot at the Eve Championship. Okay. So if she managed to get a quick pin on Hater, boom, boom, you're done. Championship. Voila. Well, not voila, but like fight. Voila. They return to beating like the piss out of each other, because obviously that pin didn't work. And the countdown starts to begin for the next wrestler. Now, Yamashita and Hater exchanging stiff kicks, elbows, and forearms, trying to knock each other out, so they're not paying any attention to what's going on. Our next wrestler is out, is an absolute legend who I will put my hand up, was not aware of, but now I am very aware of, which is why I love doing this show, because I'm like, who the fuck are you? Oh, now I know who the fuck you are. Dash Chisako. She has done many great things in her career as a tag and also singles wrestler, but something that AEW folks might like to know is that back in 2012, there was a tournament called the Kings of Trios Tournament, right? Uh, Shikara put on the three-night event, which trios from different promotions all around were invited to take part in the tournament to see who was going to become the King of Trios. Get this, right? This event even convinced the Wobbly Wobbly to get involved a couple of times, but a couple of times. In its second year, 2008, Team Wobbly Wobbly F sent One Man Gang and Demolition X and Smash. And then in 2012, they came back with the 1, 2, 3 Kid, Aldo, Montoya, and Tatanka. Completely different kind of team. And then they just stopped playing with others after that. In that exact same year, 2012, the Sendai Girls, who were Meiko Satomura, Sendai Sachiko, and Dash Shisako, faced two of the founding fathers, our founding fathers, Nick and Matt Jackson, along with the Mike Bennett, who you may have heard of, in the semi-finals of the tournament. But they were defeated by Team ROH because that's what the Bucks and Mike Bennett were representing. Team ROH. But I thought that was very cool. This Dash has faced off against two of our founding fathers. And they would actually later on go on to win that tournament in 2016. Dash has a momentous career, as I just said, and I cannot get it in all of here, okay? Because I don't want to miss anything out. I don't want to just do bullet points, but I definitely recommend you look her up if you are curious to learn more about this Dash Chisako. She has been a Sendai Girls Tag Team Champion 7 times. She's even won the Sendai Girls World Championship, along with 6 other championships from different other promotions. The 9th of July this year will mark her 20th year in wrestling. And fuck me, you wouldn't know it by looking at her. Fuck no. Dash comes out to the ring armed. So I'm an instant fan. She has a steel chair in hand, exquisite battle gear of like holographic black and strappy greatness, and a fabulous battle coat. So you know that I'm on board. That she removes before entering the ring. Mayu does not seem as excited as me and everyone else to see Dash. Coming from different promotions, those two, you got Mayu with Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling and Dash with Sendai. They have actually never had a chance to battle one-on-one, but instantly we find out that they both hit hard. I mean, you know that, the Joshi, you know that, the Mayu, Dash, damn. Having had the privilege of seeing Mayu kick someone up close, I can occur, big time, owie. I have no idea where Hater is at this point. I think she heard Dash's music and like noped the fuck out of the ring. But Dash is climbing to the top rope, as if she's like gonna take Mayu out and get the pin, and this could all be done. But Dash flies off the top rope and missiles through Mayu with a drop kick. She quickly follows it off with the running knee and goes to the pin. But Yamashita's like, I've already tried that, and you're not gonna get that on me. So no. This time, the new entrant is a wrestler that looks tough as fuck and ready to bash some heads in. It is someone called by the name of Anita Vaughn, and she wastes absolutely no time getting to the ring, squaring up to Mayu and Dash with some spicy ambidextrous chops. Yeah, she's tough. She don't care. She's going straight for them. She's just Anita Vaughn is from Ireland and has been a powerhouse of wrestling for 7 years. She is the current tag team champion for Hustle Wrestling with Sapphire Reed, has held the Eve Tag Team Championships and also the Eve International Championship, which she actually lost to the current holder, our former Cosmic AEW World Champion. I was like, she's not our former Cosmic, our former AEW World Champion, Chris Statlander. Anita Vaughn successfully dominates both Dash and Miu and goes for the pin on Yamashita after a lovely spine buster, but Hayter just appears in the nick of time and breaks up the pin. And now Anita has a much stronger and bigger opponent to try and conquer. Jamie Hayter rams forearms into Anita's jaw, but Vaughn can eat some damage. Hayter and Anita exchange a barrage of stiff attacks until they beat each other down to the mat, and we are about to get our next entrance. Lucky number 5 is Lucky Star, a wrestler with 11 years of in-ring experience, a former Eve Tag Team Champion, the current Wrestle Island Women's Champion for the second time. Now, I know you're as intrigued as I, but unfortunately, Wrestle Island is not an actual island just of wrestling, unfortunately. It's like in Birkenhead, Merseyside, which is like on an island. There's not its own wrestling island, unfortunately. So like false advertising. She climbs to the top rope and without hesitation, frog splashes down onto Jamie Hayter and goes for the pin. But Anita breaks that up at 3. Lucky destroys everyone. She almost murders Dash and then pins Hayter with a stunning fisherman suplex. But Hayter powers out of that one for 3. The next wrestler to join the fun, Nyla, holy flying Fraggles Rose! The crowd go and a little teary-eyed. I have missed that woman so much. Holy fucking shit, let's go. Nyla and Lucy instantly clash. Nyla cracks her in the head with a back elbow and then runs off the ropes with a spear that crumples Lucy in 2. Nyla unleashes a battle cry from the depths and we all scream with joy. She takes out Anita. She takes out Dash whilst the crowd is serenading the native beast. Nyla takes out Miyu Yamashita, and we are about to get another entrance. It turns out to be an Alexis Falcon, and I already know she is not loved because people do not seem to be happy about this, and I am now intrigued. She has some very amazing ring gear. It's like a Cruella de Vil type inspired thing with the black and the white and Dalmatian spots with sparkles and straps up the wrestling wazoo. I instantly love her, but then I kind of don't let him because he gets on him. But she just looks like a hard case. She looks great. She has a background in gymnastics and boxing. Fuck me. With 9 years experience in the ring. Woo! She is currently the Progress Women's Championship. She is not the championship. She is the champion. The TGW Women's Champion, and she's also the NGW Women's Champion. Alexis and Nyla begin to battle, and Alexis takes Nyla down for the pin. Nyla kicks out, so she moves to Lucy. Lucy kicks her in the pussy. I know she. I just knew I was going to love her. I freaking knew it. I reckon you are going to love Lucy. Kicks her right in the pussy. Love it. She takes Lucy out for the pin with a swinging neck breaker, but Nyla is back in the ring and breaks up the pin with a rake to the eye. I've only just met Alexis, but I know that she definitely deserved that rake to the eye. I can just tell. As Nyla Rose and Alexis Falcon continue fight, we count down to our next wrestler, who is Luna. Aluna has 6 years experience in the ring and has held many a title. One in particular really stood out, the Wet Cake Tag Team Championship. For not even one day either, that belt changed hands 3 times in that one day. What the ever living fuck is Wet Cake Pro Wrestling? I had to know. I had to know. They run out of Bedford, England, right? And they have a YouTube channel. They do. You can find full events on Sacrifice Pro Wrestling channel. In my brief look at a match, I saw Stone Cold ET anal probe someone and then get snap-mirrored by the wrestler's butt cheeks. And there was a Money in the Bank match where the little tiny safe was in the ring, and like periodically the wrestlers would have to try out the combination of the safe to open it and win the match. They're utter nutters. Sacrifice Pro Wrestling channel, the Wet Cake fucking Pro Wrestling. What the hell is Stone Cold ET anal probing people? My God. We're moving on. Luna strut stomps to the ring and takes out Alexis with a backstabber. She drop kicks Falcon on the back, and everything just goes mental. Anita is having some difficulties, but they never fear because the magic of wrestling time means that another wrestler is about to appear. And this one is a little Mars. She looks like the love child of Bailey and like Share Bear. And she is definitely a crowd favorite. She is baby faced up the wazoo. She enters the ring with like a confetti crossbody. Yes, that does actually involve her like releasing confetti. She takes out Dash. The crowd lose their collective shit. Turns out Mars is an Oz and has only 3 years ring experience and already a crowd favorite. The next one to come out is a well-known wrestler. Her name is Emerson Jane. She had an amazing match with Mercedes Moné. Everyone is going bonkers. Badass Emerson Jane gets into the ring and Hurricane Runners Lucy and Vaughn out of their boots. She yoinks Luna out of the air and slams into the mat. She almost gets the pin, but Lucy breaks it up. Emerson will make you pay for that a little later, and they climb to the top rope. And Jane brings Sky back down to the mat with a gorgeous Spanish fly, and Jane sends Lucy over the top rope, and we get our first elimination. Bye! But now Emerson has some problems because Hayter's in the ring. But we've got our next battle entrance. And that wrestler is a princess with an E on the end. So I'm not quite too sure if I'm meant to be saying that differently. Loriana, 9 years in ring experience from France. She has held the Rix Women's Championship that Mercedes was battling for. Her and Emerson Rain instantly go at it, so there's something going on there. But the next person is out, and it has motherfucking you! Another woman I magically got to see wrestle in her last ever match in Tokyo, Tokyo Profin Wrestling. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling against Mayu. Huh, so awesome. I thought she was retired. She is completely retired now, but she thought, fuck it, I'm coming back for this match. And we have her now. They go at it with Nyla Rose, and it is freaking brilliant. She absolutely clears the ring, and then Nyla's there, and shit goes down. Molly Spartan, who's another absolute powerhouse, she is also in this match. She comes out next. And we have one more stunning powerhouse to add to this bevy of beautiful babes. Someone who is doing me the personal favor of wearing black PVC. And we have even yet to meet. But I instantly love her. And it's Nightshade. Nightshade has 12 years in ring experience and is known as the Deadly One. She is the current PWE Women's Champion and former Eve Champion of 1,337 days. All four big strong bitches battled out in the ring as the rest of the competitors try to take advantage of this, but this does not happen. This does not happen at all. Our next opponent, and I think it might be our last opponent, is a little Abby Cartwright. I don't know anything about Abby except that she is living the greatest story ever told in wrestling, apparently. She has her book with her constantly, and might be a bit wacko. She is definitely competent, though, and takes a few wrestlers off their feet until shit turns sour for Abby, and then everyone takes her out. But I was wrong. We do have one last entrance, and it is a Charlie Morgan, who is the ace of Eve, apparently, and former Eve Champion's appearance makes the entire crowd go absolutely bonkety wonkers, and she is hyped up the wazoo. So now everyone's in this match. Shit goes bananas. But at the end of the day, chaos ensues as everyone tries to get, the last little pin. Alexis Falcon would block the springboard from Charlie Morgan, and now Morgan's heading to the mat with a hanging, swinging DDT, and she got the win with the 1 and the 2 and the 3. Now, Alexis Falcon celebrates by like ejaculating and jizzing all over us. Now she can challenge for any Eve championship that she wants. She's absolutely bonkers. And I completely forgot that in England, well, a certain kind of woman really love to like fake ejaculate over things. I had forgotten that from my time there, but a whole flurry of memories came flowing back. Oh. Azumi faced Sapphire Reed. Sapphire Reed's a little unhinged. For they I don't know. They fighting it? No, 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 they just battle. I'm like, I'm sure Azumi had a title, but no, this wasn't for that title. That was a brilliant, brilliant match. That was very, very good. The next one was the four-way for the number one contendership, four-way tag titles between Alice Inc. and Chantal Jordan, who were facing Danny Moe and Melissa Fierce, and also French Art and Night Sky, which Night Sky ended up winning. Lally battled Charlie Evans and Jessica Troy earlier in this event. They retained their titles. So it will be Night Sky challenging Lally for those titles. I love Lally, by the way. First time knowing them, absolutely love them. They kind of have like this odd couple thing going on, but then like at the end of the match, after they won, like a real brilliant, such a good match. Holly? Lana gets on the mic and she's all like, I think I love you, Holly. And it's this whole big wholesome moment and everyone goes, "Mwah," and it was just brilliant. Oh my God, are you ready for some unhinged fucking bonker shit? Jesus Christ. Amira Blair versus Harley Cameron was wrestling pageantry at its best. Amira came out with Cassiness. Cassiness? Amira came with Cassius, who was stunning in silver, by the way. She is dressed in gold and purple and very sparkly. From Amira's fluffy purple hat to her long purple tutu, she is just looking incredible. We get a fabulous battle dance to pump us all up, and then we shimmy to the ring. After an in-ring battle power-up boogie, she loves the boogie, does this woman, Amira is ready to go. Harley Cameron bounces out to the entrance stage. She's in her Australian-inspired Grand Slam gear. She has a shiny tag team title around her waist, and the crowd's going badonkers. Everyone loves Harley Cameron. How can you not? She completes her battle entrance, and Amira grabs the mic. Now, what happens next is a spectacular of wrestling musical theater, as Amira has a whole song with choreography to perform. She takes the biggest bump in wrestling musical theater history and gets carried back into the ring. This woman had like 7 half-naked men dancing with her on stage because we had to go back to the stage to do this whole dancing thing. I was not prepared. The crowd is chanting for more, and even Harley Cameron, who now has a mic, has some very fond words for her performance. She does call up Amira for like maybe a little bit sinking shenanigans after a certain fellacioing of the mic situation, but laments on not being prepared for a musical number herself. Psych! Harley tells the DJ to hit her music. Cameron sings a tale of wrestling queendom and the wonders of Amira Blair. She even sings herself into forming a tag team with Amira, an idea that Amira seems to actually be enjoying. That wasn't until Harley Cameron switched it up and started singing Sweet Carolina. Carolina? No, just Sweet Caroline, which started giving me flashbacks of when I used to like bartend in Bournemouth. And I don't want to be going there. So she instantly got like, go away and fucking heel heat from me. Oh, thankfully, Amira also has this like visceral reaction to that song, and she pulled Harley off those ropes. Harley face plants the top turnbuckle, and we get into a beating. Um, there were some maybe mild potential crimes going on against a doll, but sidebar. You know what I've like recently realized? Being a sicko comes with many benefits, many pleasures, of course, but it does also make you unable to really critique other companies for doing crimes because, we're all accomplices, whether we want to or not. Just a thought. Amira throws Harley out of the ring. This woman has a doll of herself. Amira pulls out Dolly Amira, swings her around like, she's the biggest dick in the world. This is what I'm saying. They're obsessed with stimulating penis, well, simulating penises. I don't know. They might be obsessed with stimulating them as well. That's not for me to judge. But definitely the simulation of penis is rampant. And Eve especially. My goodness. It turns out our cheeky little Cameron wasn't as unprepared as she led us to believe because she then gets her own tag partner and they have a freaking dolly off. My goodness. That rascal Cassius interferes with some freaking hairspray that blinds Cameron, unfortunately. But when that rascal interferes again with the hairspray to the eyes, it is now a mirror who gets the hairspray into the eyes. And that is how we end up into the end of this match. Harley pins her. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. None of that. Amira's face is all covered in hairspray. She goes down to the fucking mat. It all turns to shit. Harley Cameron pins her shoulders to the mat with a cheeky little roll up, and Harley defeats Harley Cameron. No, that's a match. Harley defeats Amira Blair right there. Harley basks in her winningest glory, whilst Amira has a bit of a fit. But Harley, oh Harley, with the heart of gold and a full bra, reaches back out to Amira and they seem to make up once again through the power of song. Amira plays nose trumpet. I did not realize she was so talented, but we can't hear it, so we will just have to imagine what a nose trumpet solo sounds like. But we all come together and celebrate with more singing and dancing, which is all very highly wrestling appropriate, and we fade out to black. Oh. Now, I just want to take this little mini moment to put a spotlight on their little ring announcer. Not little at all. Do you find like when you're talking, you're like, oh my God, I have these I was about to say these little words that you just like put into things like in between. Like sometimes it's fuck a lot, but we can't do fuck. I noticed that like little just goes in. I never mean to call anyone little in a derogative way. Sometimes it doesn't even mean to come out. We don't need this sidebar. We'll just move on. Our ring announcer for this event is Sakisa. Now, she is amazing at her ring announcing job. Absolutely loved her little sparkly black dress with black shin kicker, like steel cap boots, and a glorious long gold ornate coat. Oh, she's looking fabulous. She oozes charisma. So I had to look her up. How long has she been doing this? Is she an ex-wrestler? What's going on with this amazing Sakisa? I looked her up and I did not expect at all what I found. The first thing that comes up is that Sakisa is a English immigrant lawyer. No, she's not an English immigrant lawyer. She is an English immigration lawyer and also a stand-up comedian. And you can now add wrestling announcer to that also. Originally, she is from Barbados when she was very young. She's been in like the UK for like yonkies. She is a massive fan of wrestling. And she's been working for Eve for the last year as like host slash ring announcer. I love her. I really love her. She informs us that it's now time for Willow Nightingale to defend a TBS championship against Nina Samuels. Thank you very much. The pink carpet gets laid out. The paparazzi, the fans swarm the stage, and it's time for Nina Samuels to make her entrance. She insists that a very injured Abby Cartwright, the one from earlier, accompanies her and instructs her to sign all the autographs on her behalf. And then she assaults the cameraman. So you got that going on for you. There is a lot of law in Eve, okay? There is an awful lot of law. Willow and Samuels beat living bazonkers out of each other. It is insane. Willow likes playing around with Nina because Nina's a bit serious. She's not, but she's a bit serious. And you could tell that Willow was having a lot of fun here. But despite that, it was a tough fucking match. Nina ate everything Willow gave her. Willow ate everything that Nina gave her. At the end, Willow, what the hell? Oh, Willow is, sorry, I went too far. We're just going to cut that out because I went blah, 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 blah. My brain went blah, 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 and we need to come back. So we're back. Yeah, to bring, oh my God, now I can't get back into it. Hang on, take a drink of water. Get my thoughts in order. It was a brutal match. Everyone absorbed everyone's punishment. Everyone absorbed everybody's punishment. Shit almost went like a full mosh pit when a very activated Willow challenges and also very highly activated Nina to like a forearm battle. It was like fucking straight edge, like mosh pit right there. A battle Willow did actually end up winning when she gets Nina up onto her shoulders and she slams her into the apron with a very brutal death valley driver. Nina has to be rolled back into the ring so she can be pinned, but she still ends up avoiding that cannonball, which really surprised and impressed me because by this point they had been beating the living crap out of each other. Nina avalanche suplexed Willow to the mat. Can you fucking believe it? But she didn't keep her down. Nina then climbs to the top rope and she surprises me again because once again, this is a powerhouse of a woman. She hasn't done any massive like high flying moves, but she pulls out a fucking 450 splash on the button, which apparently was her first 450 splash. No one's seen her do it before. But Willow kind of like, takes the piss out of that by kicking out at one. It was a strong kick out at one. But yeah, that was really good. She's got a good fucking 450. Samuel takes out her frustrations out on Willow. The battle resumes. When Willow hits Nina with the pounce, though, it is all over. Willow deadlifts her up into the babe with the power bomb, which was very impressive because, like I say, fucking Nina is powerful and slams Nina definitively into the mat. Willow is hooked just for a moment, and then she is and celebrating the win with the crowd. Woo! That was a tough 1, 2, 3 right there. Willow's recovery, I have to say, after like that was on like point and all the way through this match, it's always so fucking impressive. Like you see her go through like a fucking tough as fuck match. She's getting serious, she's just getting frustrated, she's getting a little mad. But then she wins, and then all of a sudden it's just like, and the cheeks are full again. She may be looking slightly in pain. It's like it doesn't even affect her. She's insane. And I still want my last man standing match between Willow and Mox. I will not get off that high horse. Now, another surprise we got during this pay-per-view, which I also wasn't expecting, was we got a little like burlesque intermission. If you can believe it. Burlesque dancer Fufu Kaboom, who apparently is known to Eve quite well, came out in an Easter egg, an actual Easter egg. No bullshit. Fufu and Tony Storm really need to meet if they don't know each other already. They really need to. The world will not be ready, but we really do need it. Fufu Kaboom strips down to little fried egg nipple tassels and a teeny tiny fried egg G. It was quite something. And another surprise. So yeah, that was very interesting. Suri and Alex Windsor. Suri and Alex fucking Windsor. Holy shit balls. This was for Suri's New Japan Strong Women's title. Windsor comes out first, and she's got a live guitarist doing her Eve theme. Heidi Cotton, who's I've lost session musician. That's what I was trying to think of the word. Plays the epic solo to then lead into Alex Windsor's theme. Windsor out like $1 million. Fuck, she looks good. She looks like a woman who is about to win a championship. And I wonder if she will be bringing that belt with her, the New Japan Strong Belt with her to AEW. I hope she does. I really hope she does. Her battle coat is also very new. It's green with fluff, gold chains, snake skin, and all of that kind of wazoo. Ah, she's just looking like Joshi royalty. And speaking of Joshi royalty, it is time for Studi, who is dressed for battle entirely in silver. Her battle jacket and gear are beautiful. Her coat has black, grey, and white feathers at the shoulders, and all of the bits are dangling off, and little white fluffy feathers at the cuffs and the sleeves and the spear. Her gear is sparkled and strapped up the wazoo. She looks fucking incredible. Whew, Alex tries to start the match with a handshake, but Syuri is not interested. You can believe by the end of the match, though, Syuri was very, very interested. But Alex Windsor had to absorb a lot of kicks from Syuri. A lot. Like, I know Alex Windsor also dealt her like massive damage, but those fucking kicks. There was a moment that Syuri was using Alex Windsor's body as like a kick bag the entire time. And even though each one was looking evil as fuck, Alex Windsor was just sitting there being like, bring it on, bitch, give me more. Syuri nailed Windsor with kicks that would put down any mere mortal, but Alex Windsor is fueled by more than like usual stuff for this battle. This was a different Alex Windsor than what I have seen in any battle in AEW. She works fucking amazingly with Joshi wrestlers. Jesus Christ. Especially ones that hit like Syuri, because you just unleash everything and you just know that you can just go for gold and everyone's just going to be fine. Syuri throws everything at Windsor, but Windsor keeps getting up. Windsor finally manages to keep Syuri down for a pin after a beautiful flurry that ends with a pump handle driver. And Alex Windsor is our new Japan Strong Women's World Champion. If you need an update on what that is the pink belt, the new-ish one. Windsor instantly gets like reels and gets like emotional as the ref presents her with the championship. I get emotional. Didn't expect it. I should have. It was a beautiful moment. Syuri has to watch her title become another's in front of her, and she reaches out to what was once hers. Alex Windsor basks in her championship glory as she should, and then returns to the mat to pay great respect to Syuri. Syuri responds the same, and they embrace in the ring. After that, we had the championship match that I told you about earlier that Lally won. At the end of that match, of course, they had the Night Sky who just won the number one contendership. Spoil the beautiful heart to heart that these two teams were having with like an evil like Night Sky ambush on the stage. So that just shows you where they're at on this situation. But shut up, all right? Everyone just shut up, okay? We're going to talk about all this match because we have no time for anything else. We've got to get on to other things. And it is time for the Eve International title match. And we get outed on Charlie! Where the fuck did that come from? She is facing off against our very own amazing Chris Statlander. Oh my fucking god, Charlie looks amazing. Her gear is amazing. It's like a lavender, pinky number of lightness with straps and sparkles and chains, all her wrestling wazoo. I want her in AEW, okay? Like cereal box, okay? Oh, please and thank you. All right. Our Cosmic Woman, the Eve International Champion, Chris Statlander, is out next, and she didn't have to like no do this. But I have been noticing the dark stat has kind of been bleeding through. But she didn't really have to do me the personal favor of dressing in all sparkly black. But she did, and I appreciate it. I see you, Stat Daddy. Our former TBS and world champion is absolutely stunning. But I'm going to tell you guys that. I mean, we know this. Both start the match with a very respectful handshake and then explode into battle. They start at like top speed and they don't stop at all. Stop like full force, top speed, gone. You'd think honestly that these had battled multiple times. This is the first time they have fought each other in battle. It was insane how well battled together. The fight goes to the ring apron, and Charlie nails Stat with a backstabber. Chris returns the favor with a face buster, then to the apron. Stat is so happy with herself that she just has to do a quick victory lap. I get it. The whole match stayed at the exact same intensity and pace since the beginning. Chris even had to resort to getting a little bit nasty and targeting Charlie's knee. Bad idea though, because then her knees were now fair game. And Charlie was like, fuck you and your knees too. Charlie has this stunning finisher called the chiropractor, which, Wobbly Wobbly watchers would have obviously seen. She used to do it a lot in NXT, which is like a flipping back cracker that targets the neck more in the shoulders than the back. It's glorious. The stat kicked out of that. Honestly, these two can even make a great tag team. If they so wished, they would work brilliantly as a tag team. Bonker nuts. Charlie threw the Kiwi Destroyer and the rope hang stomp, but she still can't keep Stat down. Stat yoinks Charlie out of midair and hits Saturday Night Fever, but when Stat goes to pin her, she's like plonked her down like way too close to the ring, the ropes. And like Charlie didn't even need to do this. Her leg just like bounced right onto the rope, and therefore no pin for you, Miss Stat. Stat was pissed. Like anyone would think that like Charlie did that on purpose. It was her own mistake, so maybe that's why she was pissed. But Jesus Christ, she didn't have to do what she did to Charlie. Fuck me. She demolished Charlie with three Saturday Night Fevers. The third one was a Gotch style Saturday Night Fever, and Charlie was pinned for that three. Whoo! Stat went real dark. Stat there. Revenge? Revenge? Now, the last one on this card was the main event, and it was Session Moth Martina versus Rio for her Eve Championship. Those of you that may not know, Tina has been on a tough journey to get to this match. Almost kind of like a redemption-ish arc, but not necessarily because she's done anything wrong, but more in like a rebuilt of the faith in herself, rebuilt of her confidence. She can actually do this. She is a real wrestler. She does deserve to be in the, the Eve Championship conversation. She almost left wrestling, but then a very emotional conversation made her rethink that. And she ended up going on to win the She One, which is a horrendous name because it makes me think of the Shiwi. I just can't not. Anyone doesn't know what a Shiwi is? Have fun Googling that. She's the Ace of Eve. And that's what she had to do to win to even get to this stage. That's like a big, long-ass tournament, if you didn't know. Session Moth Martina has been in Eve since 2017, and this is her first ever Eve Championship shot. What is that? She is beloved. If you need like an example of like a white meat baby face right now in Eve, that's her for fucking sure. She kind of reminds me a little bit of ODB in a way. Rio, on the other hand, who is the champion, is the dastardlyistness of dastardly heels. She's a bully champion, but she looks badass. She has a live rapper joining her during her entrance, and it was a perfect live performance. Like one of the technically best wrestling live performances I've ever heard. Like everything was in time, everything was heard perfectly. Rio wears like a snarling half wolf mask, and she's like this giant white lion battle jacket. She looks so cool. Everyone boos, but I love her. Kendo sticks get brought into this match. One of them ended up hitting the ref as Rio was flinging them into the ring, which amused the crowd greatly. Session Moth is quite skilled with the kendo stick, though, it seems. So that didn't go too well for Rio, but a trash can to the head solved that problem. Session Moth was split. Face. Rio has more fun toys. She brings two little plastic baseball bats that sound harmless into the ring. But these were covered in tack, and she just smashes them both over Moth's body. Rio pisses off the crowd so much during this match that they start a fuck you Rio chant, which just made Rio smile a really scary, smiley, joy, sick joy smile. Rio is grabbing all of the weapons from under the ring and pours a big bag of tacks onto the mat. I was not aware that this was a hardcore match, and I am pleasantly surprised. Session finally decides, like, fuck all this, and grabs a weapon of her own, a table, in fact. But doth she fall victim to the she who sets it up must go through? Unfortunately, yes. Rio pile drives Martina through that table, off the apron, onto the floor. Not really great for anyone. Rio gets some unexpected assistance from an Alexis Falcon, who just joins in, but Moth makes her pay when she pulls the ref out of the ring to stop the count. Apparently, none of the heels want Moth to win this match, apparently. Don't know what's up there. The ref gets taken out, and then it is a big pile up on Session Moth. Oh, like almost all of the heels that are in attendance to this match like come out and just like pile on to Session Moth. But then, surprisingly enough, people start coming out for Moth, and it is the whole bevy of OG Eve wrestlers. Did you see my brain disappear there for a second? Try to get through it. Just thought I'd say, yes, I did notice that pause in my brain. The Boiling Birds, Hader and Windsor, come out and they bring all the OGs of Eve with them. They will rush the stage and rush the ring and start beating the absolute crap out of the heels in the ring, whilst the crowd chant Billy McKenzie's name as her Living Dead Girl music plays. They clean house, Moth and Rio go back to battle, and Session Moth Martina wins the Eve Championship for the very first time. Congratulations. Her music plays and the whole crowd sings along, and they just go into mad party mode. Everyone is going to get bollocks drunk. That's for sure. Happy little vibes all around. I didn't even know all the relationship details, but even I got a little teary-eyed when she was handed a brand spanking new championship. Quite sweet. It was quite sweet. And that's all that matters. And if I was trying to segue there, how do I segue? I thought I had a segue, but I don't have a segue. I'm going to segue my way into this next part. With what? With what, my friends? With what? I should just say it. Let's talk about revolution! Which means I get to introduce to you all the fabulous, the wonderful, the bestest bestie in all the bestie land, and the bestest little producer in all land. See, look, I put little in there for like no reason. Shane G, get your ass out here. He's been patiently waiting in the background. Where is he? Come on in, sir. Get your butt in here. Oh, he's waited so long that he's died.
I died. I am here. I have not
He's
died.
here. He's alive. He
I
is
am
with
alive. Hello,
us.
hello. How are we? How are we?
Well, we are doing fine. We have just gone through Mercedes 3 bout loss.
Yeah, yeah, she's struggling. She's not doing okay.
She's not doing okay at all.
No.
I think she has what? She's got 5 left.
I mean, yeah, that's still a lot of boats. That's the thing. Like when you
That's
have
a lot of boats.
13 boats, you can lose some and still
Have a
have
lot of
plenty
boats.
left over, you know.
Hmm. That is true. I do wonder if she is looking after those boats even more hardly now that she only has 1.
I would have to assume so,
You would, you
now
would.
that the other boats are all on the seas with other captains now.
Yeah, living their best life. Bless.
Yep.
And then, as you may have heard in the background, we went through the amazing Eve Wrestle Queendom event, which is very good.
That sounded very crazy in certain parts. But
Oh,
epic other parts as well. So yeah, there was a lot going on that show for sure. But you know what I really liked? Just seeing what could be what you already referred to, a potential women's pay-per-view. Like we see what it could look like, based on Stardom and Eve and AEW and CMLL and all the talent, everywhere. It would just
Yeah.
be incredible to see it. So, come on, TK, let's go.
Come on. Wouldn't it be cool, like, if not only all of the AEW like women's titles were like fought on this pay-per-view, but you could also then have like the CMLL title being fought and the Eve
Yeah.
title being fought and the Stardom being, well, it would probably be the New Japan Pro Wrestling. They wouldn't have they wouldn't have the red belt. I don't think, but
But
the
why
New
not
Japan
though?
Strong, they don't really yeah. So Stardom, I mean, and fair enough, but Stardom kind of at the moment want to kind of keep everything in Stardom, you know?
I get it,
And
but I
yeah.
mean, make an exception for this because, like with Forbidden Door, because you have to think, right? In kayfabe, the IWGP run both Stardom and New Japan, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the kayfabe thing. That's why it's the IWGP Women's Championship and the IWGP World Championship.
Yeah.
So the male versions of those belts get defended aren't New Japan shows. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like they get
mm.
defended on Forbidden Door, which yes, technically is a
Yeah.
cross-branded show, but realistically it's an AEW show. Like if we're
Yeah, it
keeping it all the
is.
way real, it's an AEW show.
It
Like,
is.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always takes place in America. The
Hmm.
cards are mostly AEW people,
Yeah.
or
Couple of
people who have
sprinklings.
like the dual or the
Mm.
people who have like the dual contract situation, like a
Yes.
Takeshita or a Moxley, or you know what I mean,
Mm.
like people who go back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like you're still an AEW guy, like
Yeah.
realistic.
It's not really a
So
forbidden. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like if you're gonna let it be defended on AEW shows or CMLL shows and things like that, then why wouldn't you let your women's belt be defended at like this one super show? So
I
that's the
would
only
love
reason.
that.
Like do the New Japan one and the IWGP one. Like just do
Yeah.
both for just
Yeah.
for this show. Just for this
Yeah.
one. You can do
This is
everything else
one.
in-house stardom, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? But like just for this.
Yeah.
For this show that we're making up our heads right
Yeah.
now that's not even real.
This one, like, but that we're like manifesting into the world.
Yes.
Yeah, just for this one show that we're making up. Come on. Come on.
That's right.
Because I think it would be
For
really
those of you
great.
who are wondering why I'm wearing green beads, it is St. Patrick's Day in
Oh, yeah.
America right now.
It
It
is.
was St. Patrick's Day yesterday in New Zealand.
Yours.
Um, but it is St. Patrick's Day currently. That's hence the green beads.
Hence the green
But all
beads.
right,
He's not a
Bex, where
normal
where are we
bead
at now?
wearer.
What are we talking about here?
So,
What's next?
my friend, my friend, you may have a slight idea
Yeah, I
by
am the
looking at the
producer though,
graphic.
so
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, well, there's also that.
Yeah,
We are talking about the amazing pay-per-view Revolution. Oh,
yeah.
yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we
I'm
are.
very
Yes.
happy that we're only talking about the women's stuff
Yes.
because this would be a very different show if we were talking about the entire card.
Oh,
Because let me
yes.
just say, while the matches were phenomenal, I disagreed with a lot of the booking decisions,
Did you?
but not
Yeah.
really with the women.
Oh, okay.
Not really with the women. With the
Yeah.
women, everything made perfect sense, and I liked the booking with all, and we'll
Yes.
get into it. But as a show overall, I had a
Mm.
lot of issues with some of those decisions. Like, really? Like
Fair. Yeah. Fair.
one
I was actually
babyface? No, I'm
surprised.
sorry. Two babyface wins the whole night.
Yes. Yes.
Two. Tony Storm being one of them, and then Jet Speed and Mystico. That was it.
Yeah. Oh,
Everybody else that one was heels.
Perry's though face.
Who?
Jack Perry. He's now face. That was
Oh yeah,
technically
yeah, yeah.
on the
Yeah.
pay-per-view.
No,
Like
I'm
his
counting
win
that one because
was.
we're about to speak about the Willow and Lena Cross match. That counts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Jack Perry's that win counts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
definitely counts.
I
So
was
three.
surprised about that. Yeah. I was surprised about his win. I only because I always think that Ricochet's got something like dastardly or sneakily,
Up his sleeve, yeah.
planned. Yeah. I just
Yeah,
always
shout out my
expect it.
boy,
So
man.
that,
I love
yeah.
Ricochet. Shout out my boy.
We are a pro Ricochet household, that is for sure.
That's right.
So
A lot
on the
right.
0 hour, exactly, we had well, for one, we randomly had fucking Lexi Nair with all of her hair and that amazing little like construction that was going on with her fringe. Talk to a Wayne Blood Money Brady. Where the fuck did he come from? What the hell is he doing there? And he ends up getting it all involved with Shane Taylor Productions, which I thought was very funny as well. Because then he goes, us direct over. Okay, there was a moment. Oh, also, did you clock that the entire of STP were like blue?
Yes. And
Yeah.
also, yeah, just I love Shane Taylor so much. Like, I love wrestlers who, forget that it's kayfabe, right? Like, that's kind of one of my
Yes.
favorite things about.
Me too.
And Shane Taylor is one of those guys. Like, he forgets that it's kayfabe all the time, and I
Mhm.
absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Like, he loses his mind on the way to the ring talking
Yes.
shit. Like, the whole thing. It's so good.
I
Like,
love it. It is the best.
I just,
With like the
I
entire
love
rest
Shane
of them just
Taylor.
going bonkers around them. Oh, I just fucking love it
Yeah,
so much. And he's like the fucking godfather in the middle, leading them all down.
100%. Yeah, I love it
Yeah.
so much. Like when Shane
Yeah.
Taylor is just walking down the ring and he's just yelling into the like I just like I don't know. Like it reminds me of who does it remind me of?
Reminds me of Dilo.
Like there's I don't know. Like there's wrestlers who do that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just a trope that I like. I can't think of anybody like off the top of my head right now, but
No, no,
yeah,
no, not
like
while we're talking about this. No, no.
yeah, of course
Mm.
not right now, but yeah. Shout
No,
out
no.
Shane Taylor. I love him.
Shout
I
out
love
Team.
Trisha Dora. You actually kind of made me appreciate Trisha Dora more just through producing the show. Like
Oh,
I've checked out more
yay.
of her stuff. Because I wasn't really familiar, you know what I mean? I wasn't
No,
familiar with her
sure.
game. So,
Neither was
but yeah.
I before doing this. Yeah, I fucking love Trisha Dora. Oh my God, she's
Yeah.
amazing. That one,
Yeah, she's
before we like scoot over to the Lena Cross Willow match, there was this one fucking hilarious moment. I can't remember what shenanigans they had done. It may have just been the Wayne Brady shenanigans potentially, but
hmm
fucking Trisha Dora is like bending over, fucking twerking like a queen, just being an absolute menace. And then all of a sudden she just moves out of the way before like the young boom like runs around the corner and fucking does a rather impressive tackle on Shane Taylor. Rather impressive spear, but oh my
yeah.
God, she was fucking cracking me up.
Yeah, shout out Wayne Brady for taking bumps. You know what I mean? Shane Taylor was
I
all
was
in his face
impressed.
talking that shit like Shane Taylor does, and
Yeah,
Wayne Brady got in his face, and Shane Taylor, he get a nice little slam on him on the side. I was like, okay, look at Wayne Brady taking a bump.
I know. I said the same fucking thing. My partner was out in the kitchen or something, and I'm sitting there on the couch hollering around about Wayne fucking Brady. What the hell's going on? And then I was like, Wayne fucking Brady just took a bump. I just hear my partner being like, no fucking Wayne. I'm like, yeah.
I love when celebrities take bumps, like legit
Me too.
bumps, not like they just get
Yes.
pushed over or something, but like not if you
Yeah.
take a move, like I respect it because it's like
Me too.
they train for that
Me
shit. You know what I
too.
mean? Like, and they're
Yeah.
they're they're literally for one, they're it's obviously it's a wrestling cliche to say you learn how to fall, but you do. You
Mm.
learn how to
But you
fall in a
do.
way
Yeah.
to mitigate the damage as much as possible. And
Yeah.
you take the bumps all the time so your body gets hardened and calloused up and all of that kind of stuff. So after
Yeah.
a while, your body actually does get used to it.
Yeah.
Um, so to just come out there and do it out the gate without any of that, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
Wayne Brady was probably sore the next day, like even off of that one little bump, like,
Oh yeah. Oh
you know what I mean?
fuck.
So it's like,
Fuck
I
yeah.
appreciate that.
He
I
would have woken
appreciate
up the
what it
next
takes
day.
to get out there and do something like that. So shout out Wayne
Me
Brady.
too. Me too. And good on him for putting his trust in Shane Taylor as well. Fucking A.
Yeah,
Good cunt. Yeah,
yeah.
real good. But yeah, I still can I have it like imprinted in my brain. Fucking Trisha Dora with like her tongue out, that fucking cheeky ass like look on her face, twerking her ass off. Fuck, I love her. Oh, she's amazing. And we can't forget about Charlie XO. She was also looking
Our
absolutely
tall
amazing.
glass of water.
And Johnny.
Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Charlie. There are a lot of Charlies in
Yes.
women's wrestling right now.
Yeah, there are. There
I'm
are.
like, when did that happen? So we had on the 0 hour, which I wasn't mad at. I wasn't mad at it at all that this was on 0 hour. I did think it was weird because it was the TBS championship match. It wasn't just like an eliminator or something. Like if Lena bet her, then then she would have had the fucking title.
Hmm.
So I did think that was a bit weird. I did also think, considering what the type of battles that Willow has been having recently, I
Hmm.
did think that her calling out Lena for a double, match wasn't the smartest thing she could have done.
Yeah.
And in the end, it didn't end up interfering with her TBS championship. But I think with the damage that Lena did to her, especially in the shoulder, during their match, and I'm not putting anything against like divine domination at all, but I do think that that helped at least like bring Willow down to, like out of a third of her fucking power or something near the end of that second, like that tag match. Whew, yeah,
And
because they just rammed on it as well.
not only that, but you have to also remember that right after Willow got the victory, Megan ran down and caught some licks and they
Oh
double
yeah,
teamed her
she
a
did
little bit
too.
before her. So that even like even if it were
Mm,
because you got to think after that it would have basically been still an even contest going in because Harley would be all the way healthy, Megan would be all the way
yeah,
healthy, and Lena
yeah,
and Willow would
yeah,
have the depleted stats. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
because
yeah.
Megan came in and they jumped her after the match, that lowered Willow a little bit more.
That is right. That is right. That did happen. I had forgotten that for a brief moment. No, you're right.
So
Fucking
you
Megan
know,
Bain ran as, isn't it interesting? She can sometimes like get to the ring with like a flash. You're like, where the fuck did Bane come from? And then other times she's just like, oh my God, Bane, could you like hurry it up a little bit?
yeah, yeah.
And this time she fucking booked it to the
She got
ring.
down
That's
there.
right. Oh
She was
yeah,
like,
they beat the living
nothing is
shit out of her.
stopping me from getting the tag team championship this time. I
No.
don't care what happens. I'm getting down here quick and we're
Yeah,
jumping Willow.
yeah, yeah.
I'm getting
Oh
those
yeah.
belts. Fuck
I'm getting those
that.
belts. Fucking A. Fucking A. Because like Harley has obviously like improved so freaking much. So freaking much. She's gotten so much
Yes.
stronger and all this kind of shit. But even a healthy Willow with a healthy Harley still kind of they would still already was gonna, in my personal opinion, be in like a power imbalance against Cross and Bane. Just because
Yeah.
they're two double powerhouses who can fly.
Because only Willow would be able to
Whereas,
match their strength. Harley would have to
yeah,
rely on her cunning
mm,
ability and her
yes,
she would have to rely on strategy, I would say,
yes,
rather
yeah,
than being able to just go out there and outfight them. Whereas Willow
exactly.
can match them strength for
Yeah,
strength. Harley cannot.
definitely.
So
Harley cannot, no, not at
so
all.
that's the issue there.
It really was. But like everyone out there, if you haven't seen this match is on 0 hours, so you can go watch it for freezies on the AEW channel over there. It's a brilliant match to be able to watch free. It
And
was
what I love,
definitely, yes.
what I really love that AEW is not afraid to do, and if it works, they keep going with it, which I also love. Is Lena Cross has only been in AEW. It's been like a month tops,
Yeah. Yeah.
like tops.
Mm,
Since the
yeah.
last episode, episode 40, go check it out. It's out now. In that episode, you were talking about the last tag match that they had where Penelope got injured. That was
Yeah.
3 weeks ago.
Yes.
No,
Three
as
now.
of the date we're recording
As
this,
of the date
that
we're
was like 3
recording.
weeks ago, right?
Yes.
So that was when Lena debuted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
was right. It was what, the week before that. So
Yes.
it's been four
At Grand
weeks. That's a
Slam.
month. So and
So
she already
small.
feels so important.
So important. Isn't
It
that
doesn't. She doesn't
interesting,
feel out
eh?
of place being a tag champion already. Her
No.
competing, and that's where it was interesting that you said that, because in my opinion, her competing for the TBS title didn't feel out of place, even though she's only been around for a month. It didn't feel
No,
like
that
she was
is
going to
actually
win,
very true.
but
No.
it didn't feel out of place her competing
Hmm.
for a title already, though. She already
No, you're
feels
so right.
super important. Like, it's
Yeah.
basically a
Yeah,
very
no, you're
similar effect
absolutely
that
right.
Megan Bayne had when she first came in. Like,
Very
Megan
much.
felt important immediately. Lena Cross, it's
Yeah.
the exact same thing. So them being together is like poetry.
Respect.
It's perfect.
It
That's
is.
why and we love Penelope,
Don't
right?
get me
Like, you know,
started on
this show,
Penelope.
we love Penelope. I do think I do think Penelope, with them and the three of them being the uh what's the first part of their word? I know it's dominion. What's the first part? Domination dominion? Is that what it is?
Divine
Divine dominion. That's what
domination.
it is.
Yeah. Oh,
So
Dominion.
yeah.
Dominion.
Um so yeah, it's divine dominion. I think them as
Dominion.
a trio is awesome, and Penelope could be like the Tekla, or the,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Or when
Yes.
Adam Cole was with Red Dragon, the Adam Cole, where, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Where
Yes.
Bane and Cross should still be the tag team, because I like
Yeah.
their look together, aesthetically, the
Yeah.
entrance, like it's just so perfect. It's almost like,
Yeah.
yeah, this should be the team. But Penelope
Yes.
should still be with them. You know what I mean? But she should be
Definitely.
going after the TBS title. She should be going
Yes.
after the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, or the,
Yes.
you know what I mean, the Ring of
For
Honor
the tally.
TV, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many
Yes.
singles championships that Penelope could be, you know, to add to her repertoire
Mm.
and group, but do more solo stuff while they're doing tag stuff. Like, I think
Yes.
that dynamic is gonna kind of be what people would want going forward. Because I think people want Penelope to still be with them. Like, they don't
Yeah.
want Lena Cross to replace her, because we love Penelope.
No. Yeah.
But and Megan looked like perfect together though. So we kind of have to keep that now.
Well, that's the thing. Like, as soon as, as soon as she got injured, I was like, oh no. Because I knew that they had to keep up their momentum, of
Yeah.
course. Um, and so I just knew that it would now be Megan and Lena, and I was like, they make so much sense. Please don't squish
It
my
looks so good.
oh.
It looks so good. Yeah. And I don't think they
No.
will. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't think they will, because for one, Megan and Penelope are tight behind the
Yeah.
scenes. Two, like me and my brother, we were
Mm.
discussing this. When they have somebody turn on somebody else, it's very meaningful. They don't really do
Yes.
it just for the sake of the swerve, or just for the sake of breaking up a tag team. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
even
thank
if they have
goodness. Yeah.
people go their separate ways, they'll just kind of drift apart. Like, they don't
Yeah.
necessarily turn on each other. Like, Julie and Brody never broke up per se, like
No.
in the House of Black or whatever. They just
No.
kind of started doing their own thing slowly. And then,
Yeah.
you know, now Julia's over here and Brody's over here, and it is what
Mm.
it is.
Mm.
Like, even Brodito, like,
Yes.
they don't really feel like a tag team anymore, but they
No.
didn't like break up.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
They just kind of are doing their own thing now.
Yeah.
So I think
Different journeys.
AEW, they don't really break up teams unless there's a reason to break
No.
the team up, like, for the
That
most
is
part.
true. That
You
is
know,
true.
or like, unless it's going to really lead to something. The only time they've kind of done it so far is with the Acclaimed. That's the only team that's like, they've kind of not
They
really had too much
did.
direction since they've broken up. But
They
aside
did.
from that, there's usually a plan. Like, and
Yeah.
it's meaningful, and it's like very story driven and things like that. Like, when people break up, so I don't see them doing that with them. They're just
No.
going to have them be a trio. And
Yeah, I
eventually they're
really
starting
hope
to build
so.
women's trios, and eventually there will be women's trios titles. Like,
I've
you
noticed
have
that.
the Toxic
Mm.
Triangle, because I think that name's cooler than Triangle of Madness, so I will call them the Toxic
Right?
Triangle.
The Toxic Triangle
Um,
is so much better.
but you got them. You have the Divine Dominion now. You
Mhm.
have potentially, depending on what like Anna Jay
Mm.
is doing, you have Ty J and Harley, like they're kind of a trio.
Yeah,
Um,
they are.
you
That's
have,
very
you know what
interesting.
I mean? Because Anna Jay and Harley are tight, so like they're kind of a
Yes.
trio. Or you
Yeah,
have Willow, Harley, and Stat. They're a trio.
that is
Um,
true.
you have Tony, Mina. I'm sure you could get somebody else with them that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Very easily.
Like
Now you've got,
there's women's trios out there. So,
yeah,
and then with who we're gonna get to in the next
I was just
match,
thinking,
there's
yeah,
an MMA women's trio, but we'll get to that
yes,
when
there
you
is.
bring that
We'll get to
match up.
there. We'll get to there. But no, you're
Yeah,
right. That opens it up for a lot more as well. And you know me, you've listened to me blabber on for God knows how long. You know I love affection.
yeah.
I'm
I'm a
all
big
for
faction guy as
factions.
well.
Yeah, yeah. We're
Same.
both big faction people, and it just
We're
makes a
from the
lot of
fashion
sense.
era.
We are.
We are.
We really are. And it
But
just makes a
factions
lot
are
of
the easiest
sense.
way to make everybody feel important. Like it's just
Right?
easy to do that. Like
Right?
put Death Riders is the best thing that could have happened for her career. She feels so important now.
Oh my God,
You know what I
Marina
mean? Like
has
before it was like
transformed.
there's something there. Now it's
Hmm.
like Marina's a star now. You know what I mean? Like
She absolutely is. She
just
absolutely is.
by carrying the briefcase and carrying the titles for Moxley and just being badass
Yeah.
like she's like and being a silent killer like over a
Yes.
year and a
Like that
half. Like
whole,
now she's a star.
totally. Like they had her just be like, silent, just like staring. Maybe she did like maybe curse us in Moldovan a couple of times. But now, oh my God, hasn't she blossomed into such a beast? It's like the wider her back got, the better her character developed. It
The more
is,
chiseled her abs were.
yeah,
Right, all
yeah.
right.
Because as she came out, because we might as well shimmy, as she came out to the first women's match of Revolution, which was of course Marina Shafir versus Tony Storm, which has a big, long, dastardly rivalry, and I do not even think has even finished at all. When we get to the end of it, we will declare obviously that there's no end to this. It has not ended after this. But her coming out to the ring, oh my God, she owns that entrance now. She's another one that like loves to like talk shit at the fucking camera. She
Yeah.
like pulls the fingers to the crowd. She smack talks everyone. I am captivated by Marina Shafir. And I love her in ring work. I really do love it. I know I've seen
She's
some
gotten so
people
much better.
diss it, but
I
I
think
think she has gotten
before
majorly better.
she was kind of a stiff worker before. Of
Yes.
course, I'm
Yeah.
from me looking on the outside, and I have no idea if she's a professional. I'm not. All those
Mm.
caveats to the side, right?
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
Her earlier stuff looked more like she was trying to figure out how to incorporate her MMA style into a professional
Mm.
wrestling environment. Like it didn't
Yes.
come
Yeah.
as naturally to her as certain other people, right? So
No,
it didn't feel that way, at least. You know
it
what I mean? Maybe
didn't.
it was the people that they were
Yes.
pairing her up with, or I don't know. You know what I mean? But um, it didn't feel that way. Where like
Yeah.
other people who have come from the MMA world, um, they might have taken to it a little bit more naturally. So I think
Yeah.
that's where it comes from. So there was like the
Mm.
stigma with her for a long time, and then she got
That
with the
is
Death
very true.
Riders. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And then she was doing a lot more stuff on Ring of Honor for a while. Like you were
Yes, she
covering a lot of
was.
her Ring of Honor matches, and it was like, okay,
Yeah.
they're letting her get her reps in now, and
Yes.
now she's starting to be on TV. And it's like I'm
Yeah.
sure because this is another good thing about factions, right? Like
Mm.
usually factions hang out in real life also.
Yeah.
So you have Moxley, who's a legit black belt. Marina's a legit black belt. So Moxley is a perfect person to show her this is how you translate this into the ring.
Exactly. She
And
just
now she's
needed that
really good.
person.
You just need the
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
just to show
She
you how
just
to, oh no,
needed
you
she
still
needed
do that,
Mox.
but you do it like
Yes.
this.
Exactly. I cannot even fathom the wealth of knowledge that has been absorbed by Marina Shafir's brain from the moment that she stepped in with the Death Riders. For fucking
Yeah.
sure. And I'm sure not just her learning stuff, she would have, probably taught them a few, real
Oh,
shit
I'm
as well
sure.
that they then incorporate into the pro wrestling way. But you were
Especially
absolutely
like a Yuta
100%
or a
correct.
Daniel Garcia with
Mm,
them both being younger
yes.
guys. Like she can
Yes.
show them how to make their stuff look more legit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like she's probably
Mm-hmm.
like, no, you can throw a punch like this and it actually looks like it's connecting or it actually does
Yeah.
connect, but you're not going to hurt your opponent. But it's still, you know what I mean? Like she's
Yes.
probably able to show them that type of stuff, I think, or like more of the submission side of things
Yeah.
because that seems to be Daniel Garcia's focus more is like trying to be more of like a submission style. So I bet you she's
Yeah.
amazing at showing them techniques in that regard.
Hell yeah. I love how she has now adapt everything to be slightly more bigger. So you can kind of follow what she's doing a lot more because like you were saying earlier it was too like based in real, like the movements were smaller and all that kind of stuff, and once it got like translated into like a bigger, like wrestling kind of performance things, she's really taken
Mm-hmm.
it and like gone off with it. Yeah,
Yep.
really freaking good. So proud of her. She's done so well. That match with Tony Storm, please, I need that again. Thank you very much. That was awesome. I'm so glad this
Told a
rivalry
great
isn't going
story.
anywhere. So good. So, so
Told a
good.
great story of how much Tony can take and how much Marina can throw.
Yeah, because she was actually quite dominant through this match a lot, was
Yeah.
Marina. Like now Marina's got that like confidence in her and like that absolute like badass confidence. Like, I'm putting it out there. She's gonna get into trouble one day with how much she has to stop and like taunting the crowd. Like one day that is gonna fucking hit her in the ass. But she did a lot of that with Tony in this match and got away with it. Phew.
Yeah.
Dang. Phew. That was a brutal match. It was a good match, but a brutal match. And then afterwards, my friend,
Yeah.
out of nowhere. So
I don't know
Tony
where.
obviously ends up winning.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere. Tony ends up winning. Um, whew, Jesus Christ. She got put through the ringer. She put Marina through the ringer. They beat the crap out of each other. But not to a definitive end, Like even before
Right.
a certain someone, you could kind of tell that shit was still going to go down because she got her with her big package. And Marina was really fucking pissed about that, as you can imagine, because Marina had been putting all like these dastardly fucking shit on her, and Tony kept pinning out of it, kicking out of it. So yeah, being like caught by the big package really fucked Marina off. And so Tony is like, going back up the ramp, looking at Marina with like the most hilarious face look on her face at all. And then a certain Miss Ronda Rousey is all of a sudden on our TV screens. Fucking didn't
Yeah.
even give us a jump warning on that. Fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
Whew. Mm. Just
Very
standing
interesting.
there, staring at Tony
Tearing
Storm,
at Tony's story.
pointing down at the ring, just say, come on. Tony's face then pulls one of the bestest fucking evil sick smiles I've ever seen with
Well, I don't mind if I do.
oh yay, and then she
How's that
fucking
look?
boots it, and then of course security comes in, breaks it all up. Marina and Rhonda obviously joined, um and they go out to the back and they both slap John Moxley in the face as he's going to his match. I didn't think what was hilarious. But in every kind of way, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? You make no sense. Apart from being Marina's friend in like real life, you make no sense. Why are you here?
So yeah, like okay, so why are you here? I mean, if we'll get the just super logical reasons out of the way, one, she's a big name, she will draw eyeballs to the product. Two, she obviously does have some love for professional wrestling still. Um,
She must do.
she grew up
Yeah.
watching
Because I
it.
thought
Like I
she
think she was
hated it.
always a fan. So here's
Yeah.
where I'm willing to give her a little bit of grace, right?
Mm.
In
Sure.
one of two in two different areas. Um,
Hmm.
One, shout out to the sickos. We're an inclusive community. We do not tolerate bigotry on any level.
No.
We don't appreciate anybody who is anti LGBTQ in any way or anything like that, right? So with that
Mm.
said,
Yes.
um, it was recently brought to my attention by some of the people, in the club, that she said some anti-trans things in the past, and I didn't realize that, right? So I didn't
Hmm.
know that part.
Yeah.
That being said, I do think that everyone has room for growth and everyone has a better person if given enough time, right?
Hmm.
Unless you
Yep.
die, and you're Charlie Kirk, then it's like, oh, well, you died a shitty person, so that's your legacy now. Unless unless something unfortunate happens to you, you always have another chance to become better, right?
I agree.
And
Hmm.
that's what we want from people. We
It
want you to learn
is.
from your mistakes and we want
Yes.
you to become a better person. So
Yes.
if that has happened, then good. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Mm.
Because this is a company that clearly supports LGBTQ people. Tony Storm, obviously, being one of the bigger uh, names who is not
Mm.
only a member of the LGBTQ community, but is an outspoken
Yes.
advocate of the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
So, interesting potentially in a good way. Program might be with Tony. There may
I
be
think it's
some
going to
level
be.
of there may be some level of understanding that has been reached. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
previously public Rhonda didn't display. You know what I mean? But maybe that understanding has been reached now through
Yeah.
conversations potentially with a Tony Storm or a
Mm.
Nyla Rose who is in AEW. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well,
Exactly.
do you still feel that way? Because you're gonna be
Mm.
around Nyla Rose. She's backstage at all the shows still.
Yeah.
Even though
And
she's
you,
not
you
on
can't be
TV, she's
that.
still around. So
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like what I'm saying is, while that stuff wasn't cool, and I don't condone it on any level, I do want to see if they can place before we still condemn. So
Yeah.
that's one point,
That's a
because
good point.
I'm one of those people who, I've been ignorant on certain things before, and until I was educated properly, I
Myself
may
too.
have, what I'm saying? I may have said
Oh,
the
of
wrong
course.
things or had the wrong thoughts about what, what
Yes.
I'm saying? Certain things until
Yes.
properly educated. And then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
I see why the way I thought before was incorrect. You know what I mean? I can fix that going forward now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
maybe we've gotten to a place like that with her as well. So, I want to put
Yeah.
that there.
But I've always been the kind of person who is like, if you don't allow people to change, what the fuck is the point in them changing? And you want them, you want better people. You want people to actually learn and grow. So you've got to allow for them to learn and grow.
Yeah.
And you have to allow yourself to be accepting of them if they prove themselves that they come from a pure changed perspective, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
And I
carry
feel
on.
like that about most things. Like there's certain acts I
Most
don't feel like you
things.
can really come back from, but like most
Oh
things,
no,
you know what
no,
I mean? Like
yeah,
most thought related things, I
yes,
can forgive. Like if you
yes,
haven't acted on anything, but you were like a racist or something, but now you're reformed and you're like, no, like I've learned from my ways and why it's bad to be racist. It's like,
yeah,
okay, I can forgive you. Like,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
you know what I mean? Or
yeah,
whatever category of ist you want to put on it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, you know, like I'm willing to
yeah,
forgive it if you've proven, you know, why you understand why that was bad.
yeah.
Um,
Like,
so
yeah,
that yeah,
like you
so
say, there's a
that's
level.
point.
It's obviously other ones
There's
that
a
are above
level.
that level. Yeah.
There, right, right. If
Mm.
you've ever, yeah, there's certain things that if you've done it, then it's like, no, I don't give a fuck what you know what I'm saying? Like, no, there's
You
no
just,
coming
yeah,
back
because
from
then you're
that
just
because
lying.
that should have just never happened. So,
No.
um, and then point number two is with the
Mm.
pro wrestling thing. When she said she hated pro wrestling,
Mm.
we have to also remember her entire pro wrestling experience is under WWE.
And the fucking crowd there were rude.
Like,
But they ate her up. They ate her fucking up.
and she's there during the really really bad Vince McMahon booking era. So
Oh, that was bad.
like
Yeah.
that era of wrestling, they weren't really into his way of booking, which is you pick one person and you make them the superstar and you just make them unstoppable. That's what always
Yeah.
worked for him. And he was still booking like that in the late
Yeah.
2010s. And it's like, that's not what people want anymore. Like people want
No.
multiple people that are all good and vying for, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
always when it's been sort of at its best. Like the 80s, you had
Exactly.
Hogan. It's like, okay, the 90s, who's like your one person of the 90s? You can't really name one person who ran the 90s. Like in the
Hell
early
no.
90s, it was Brand
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, and then in WCW, Lex Luger and Sting doing their thing. That's like
Yeah.
five people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then in the late 90s, you have Stone Cold, The Rock, the Outsiders, Hogan's,
Yeah.
the Undertaker. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, you had
Kane.
all these names. Triple H was starting to come out.
Triple
Like,
H was coming
all
up.
these
Yeah.
names that were all huge names that were all bubbling at the same time. Then after that, you had,
Yeah.
you know, the big four that came out of OVW: Batista, Brock,
Yes.
Cena, and Orton. That's
Yeah.
four all at the same time. You know what I mean? And Triple H is still a star at the time, and Kurt Angle, and Rey
Yes.
Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero, and like
Yeah.
it's never. But Vince always tried to just shoehorn one guy because then it got stale after that. Then
Yeah.
it was Cena, and then
Mm-hmm.
everyone started hating the product because it was just the one
Yeah.
guy again. Then he did it
Yeah.
with Roman, and everybody hated the product because it was just the one guy again.
One
Like,
guy again.
and then he
Yeah.
started doing it with the women. That's when Charlotte became Charlotte Hogan. Like, and
Yeah. Yep.
then he was
Yep.
doing it with you know what I mean? Like, so it was the same. And then he did it
Yeah.
with Ronda. And everyone was like, no, we want
Yeah.
Becky Lynch. And they were like,
Done.
no, but we're giving you Ronda.
Yeah.
So all that
You'll take
wasn't like
Ronda
it
and
was
you'll like it.
always the booking. They rejected the booking and Ronda took
Mm.
it personal because I don't think
Yes,
she
she did.
understood pro wrestling from that aspect at the time.
No. No. I think it was all,
You
yeah.
know what I
I think
mean?
it was all too real then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she should have had a bigger break between like way bigger than what she had between her UFC career and coming into pro wrestling. Because you do need to adjust that it's not you as a person anymore.
Yeah.
It's this other you. Yeah.
It's the product like
Yeah.
that we're booing. It's not really it, and you just happen to be a part of it. And you're our
Yeah.
way of expressing to the company that we don't like this thing.
Yeah.
You're just the vessel,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then you know, not that to speculate or to get too much into like, you know, women's bodies or women's, you know, business or anything like that, but when she came back the second time, we have to remember that she had recently had a child. You know what I mean? And
She
postpartum is a
had
real thing. So,
massive. Yeah.
you know, she kind of had this, you know, like stigma of having like a bitchy attitude and coming back and being like, well, fuck
Yeah.
everybody. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do what I gotta, you know what I mean? And her matches reflected that pretty, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it wasn't really a good
Yeah.
second run.
Mm.
Postpartum's a real thing. And I'm not saying that she
Oh,
had
fuck
it,
yeah.
I don't know, but I just know that the chemistry of a woman's body changes
Yeah.
significantly, including your brain chemistry
Yeah.
when you have a child. So that could have
Mm-hmm.
also contributed a lot to why she quote unquote hated pro wrestling. You know what I mean? But now that she's had
Absolutely.
a proper break, taken some
Yes.
years off, and she's
Yes.
coming to a
Yeah.
place with one, she's got friends. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because Marina's there, like you said. And then who
Yep.
knows? Like I said, we're talking about women's trios. Shayna Baszler's a free agent too. So what if they do
She
three
is.
three women of MMA? You know what I mean? Boom, the three, and then you bring in Jessamine Duke. You got the four horsewomen of
Oh,
MMA.
I'd love that. Oh, I would love that so much. And
You know?
another thing I love about that as well is because usually other fighters coming into pro wrestling usually generally get like know, a heel kind of welcome because it's just how pro wrestling fans are, unless you like a certain kind.
You're
Um,
right.
but it also, wait, because Marina is getting a little bit too good at her job, um, I feel like she could run into accidentally getting herself into kind of babyface territory
Mhm.
accidentally. Um, but bringing it, why am I holding my lip balm? But bringing in Rhonda completely shuts all of that down. And now we actually have like forever how long? Like I don't think Rhonda's like here for like a long time. She's probably just here for a good time and that's fine. But now we have like this group of women who, as you say, could open it up to another group of women who would also add into this that we can like just really like let ourselves go and boo, because
Yeah,
there's not really anyone like there are heels in the women's division, of course, but we fucking love heels, especially on this show. And
that's
and
the
so a
thing. Like
lot,
none of the women, all of the women that when we, it's like they're heels, but there's no
yeah,
proper, like there's no Wheeler Yutas in the women's
no,
division.
no, and they need
There's no
one.
Don Callis in the women's division.
No, no,
You know what I mean? Like these are
hell no.
proper heels that we enjoy booing. Like basically
Yes,
everybody in the Callis family at this point, we actually enjoy booing, except for like Okada. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
but
Fletcher.
that's just
Like
because he's
people,
Okada.
it's like people boo them because we're supposed to, you know what I mean? But it's like
Yeah.
everybody else we actually enjoy booing. It's like the women's division doesn't really have any of
No,
those.
they don't. They don't have a one, not a one. And so for that, I was like,
It was
hey,
Marina, but
this is
Marina's
actually
badass now and everybody likes her. So it's like
exactly, exactly. She totally like boosted herself out of that thing now, especially since like, everyone's all like, yeah, we can love the Death Riders, we still hate you. But
yeah.
so this is what I do love also about Ronda Rousey coming in. It's like, yay, we've got like actual like a polar opposite now, especially if like you say, if which we think is definitely was laid out rather obviously that Ronda and Tony are going to be having a battle. And that's the perfect like babyface heel matchup. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The crowd is just gonna like lose their nuts just with them standing in the ring. Like with
Yeah.
the dueling fucking shit that's gonna be going on. And if Ronda can really lean into it, kind of not like the way that not like the way that Callis does with his character, but the way he leans into it as a heel. If she could do
Yeah.
that, oh, she could create gold,
Yeah.
I reckon.
And
Yeah.
I think she'll be able to because
Mm,
she has like we have the blueprint for it with Marina. Like Rhonda and
exactly.
Marina, it's the same thing. It's just that Rhonda has more name recognition outside of AEW. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, and she'll probably be she'll. I think she'll have more fun on the microphone in AEW than she was able to in WWE because she'll be able to be spicier. You know what I mean? And she'll be able to kind of show more of
Exactly.
like that UFC side of Ronda, like maybe in a
Yes.
press conference side, like where you're getting in your mode and you're talking shit, like that'll
Yes.
work in AEW. And
Exactly.
we've
She doesn't have to
never really
repeat these
seen it in
lines.
we never really saw it in the Wubbly Wubbly. So,
No.
you know,
No. No, not at all. And just like we said, how with Marina's move set got enhanced and flourishes now, exact same thing with Ronda. And we don't even know how long she's been working with them for. So she could already be like,
well,
quite
we have
up
to remember
there.
Ronda's first run was really good. Like
People
she's a
forget
good pro
that.
wrestler. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like, she actually is a good pro wrestler, and that's what I was alluding to earlier because I just didn't want to give away the names, for anybody who didn't see. So,
exactly.
but yes, we were talking about Ronda. That's what I was
Mm,
speaking about when I meant Marina didn't necessarily take to it as fast as some other people who came from MMA. Shayna
mm.
Baszler took to it pretty quickly. Ronda
She
took
did
to it
a
amazingly quickly. Like,
yeah.
Ronda's first year was a Kurt Angle level year. Like, it was great,
Hmm.
so that's the thing. I
Yeah.
think people, because of this second run that she had that wasn't as good, people kind of discount her ability to be a pro wrestler. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, she was really, really good, actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think in a proper environment, we could absolutely see that again. And
I
I think
think so.
AEW would be a proper environment for it because she's going to have, they let the women wrestle the way they want to wrestle. Like, there's
This is
not
what I
a
was thinking
woman's
too.
style in
Yes.
AEW.
No.
You know what I
Whereas
mean?
she would have
So
been
she
having
can
to
kind of
adapt to
thing.
everything. Sorry, you say.
Right. Oh, no, no, no. No, we were saying the same thing. You go ahead.
I was like, oh my goodness, I'm talking over you. How rude. No, no, no. Just like as yeah, as I think we were both saying, whereas over in the wobbly wobbly, you have to do things the wobbly wobbly way, and that's not a
Yeah.
fluid thing. It's a very regimented thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why it was awesome. Sorry, going back, but why it was awesome watching Charlie versus Chris Statlander because it was like, oh my God, like she's an amazing fucking pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Like Jesus
That's
fucking
why I've been a
Christ.
fan forever because I've been waiting on that. Like, I've been
Yeah.
waiting on people to see that because I'm like, I
Yeah.
know what she could do. Like, I remember the captain team kick and
Right?
all, like, I remember that. Like, I remember who could
Exactly.
be. So,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yes, and I also did think that it was really funny, as I alluded to earlier, when they because yeah, the crowd was mad. Mega boos were raining down. Many a bird was flipped to the crowd. As soon as
yeah.
she started doing all of that, I was like, oh, this is going to be different. This is going to be
Hmm.
very different. And then Marina walks past Mox, gives him the slaps, and then fucking
Yeah.
run whack. But yeah, we know where we're being a bit open-minded and giving someone a chance. As we were kind of covering as well in our talk about the Willow Lena Cross match, because you really couldn't talk about what happened afterwards without talking about this one. It's all very. But the tag championships were defended, fought for. They
Yes.
weren't really defended.
Yes.
It is domination. Yeah. This is it. It is
Is it
divine
Dominion or
domination,
Dominion? I
eh?
thought it
Or is it
was,
divine dominion? That's the word. I was like, no, wait, is
I
it
gotta look it
dominion?
up now.
Don't mind us. We're googling because we just need to. It's domin something. It's either nation or
Yep. It's Dominion.
domin.
Divine dominion refers to God's supreme sovereign authority over all creation. Yeah, that's the name.
That makes sense. That is the name. Yep, that is the name. So they fucking come out looking as powerful as fuck. Holy
Super
shit, these two
ethereal.
women. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't even know that like Cross had a match if you hadn't watched it, like hadn't heard anything. She didn't
Looking
even look like
fresh as
she'd
a
been through
daisy.
battle. Fresh as a fucking daisy. And fucking hell. That's what also surprised me. I was like, oh my God, they're in trouble. They're in major, major, major trouble. And then the wonderful Babe
Yeah.
Wraith come out. Willow is, her Willow self, but you can see that the match and that after match beatdown was really affecting that shoulder, eh?
There was no kick in the
Yeah.
entrance. That's when I knew it was
Yeah.
trouble. I was like, oh boy, no kick from Harley and Willow.
Yeah.
It's not a good sign.
Yeah. Not a good sign because that's never happened. No matter how like hurt Willow's been in the past, she's always pushed through for the kick, but there was no
Yeah.
fucking kick. Oh,
They marched to the ring.
they marched to, and that's fair because it was a very serious. Yeah, it was a very serious moment, that's for sure. Because Megan Bain and Lena Cross were not playing around, were they?
They were not.
No,
They
they
were
were
not.
not. No, they would fucking not. So they just ended up continuing attacking Willow's shoulder anytime they could. Their double teaming impressed me so much, considering, like you said, we've only had Lena Cross for like a month. That was so impressive how well they work together. That's another scary thing about this team. They're so fucking fast. So when Harley was trying to like utilize her like speed to just finally get fucking on top of them, they were able to fucking switch it up as well and like ramp up the speed too. It was oh, Harley had a an unwinning battle to have.
Yeah, because
That is for
like
sure.
even Lena, like because like Megan, she'll hit you with a tope. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like for the
mm,
most part, she's relying on power offense.
mhm.
Um, and like she'll do like charging offense where she'll run at you,
Yeah,
dive at you with a, the clothesline and things like that.
yeah,
But mostly it's the power game. Lena
yeah.
really has like a mix of both. Like she's almost like not to bring up
Mm.
the wobbly wobbly too much, but she's almost like a Bianca Belair in that sense,
Oh, very
where
much.
Bianca
Very, very
will do some
much.
450s or some springboard, shit,
Yeah.
but then she'll lift you up for 10 seconds also before dumping you on your head. Like that's Lena
Yeah.
Cross. Like I
That's
saw her
a
do the
great
split legged
comparison.
moonsault. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like split legged moonsault and stuff. And I'm like, okay, Megan's not doing that level of high flying
No.
type stuff. But
Uh-uh.
then Lena can do the strong, power moves as well. So I'm like,
Yeah.
she's super well rounded.
Very, very, very kind of scarily like it's almost like yeah, she's like the perfect partner for Megan Bain and they just work
Yeah.
insanely well together. Um when they finally won those titles, it was bittersweet, but of course I was very happy, of course. Um, Megan Bain finally has some gold on her.
Mm-hmm.
But now the women's tag division is in a little bit of trouble now. I have to
I
say.
would say so.
Oh dear. Because who, off the top of your head, I mean, obviously there's Stat is in the current mind frame of teaming up with anyone at the moment. I feel like she's on like her lone wolf kind of
Yeah.
journey again. But who do you think could even challenge them? I mean, I know many will try and challenge, but
I mean,
who-
right now, like out of the established teams, I
yeah,
don't think
yeah.
there is anybody. Like I don't
No,
see Timeless Love Bombs doing it.
nah,
I don't see Sisters of Sin doing it.
nah.
Um, I mean, maybe I could see the Brawling Birds. I could see that. Not yet, but
Yeah,
eventually I could see them taking it, after
eventually.
they continue stacking up some wins and establishing themselves as a team. I could see
Yeah,
them doing it. Um,
yeah.
or or if Rhonda and Marina decide to go after it, I could see them too. But it really, those are the only two viable options in my mind until they
Yeah.
create some new teams. Like there may be, or if like Chris and Willow tag back up, like I could see them.
That's what I was thinking.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm.
Like if Harley's off doing something else, like I could see them maybe, teaming back up
Yeah.
and doing it like down the road. But like it would have to be,
Mm.
like it's gonna be a tough team though. Like it's gonna be somebody who
Yeah.
almost like you have to believe in real life they could beat them. Like they're that kind of team where it's like they're
Yeah.
so powerfully booked, like deservedly so. Like they should be booked like that.
Yes.
Like Megan
Yes.
Bain isn't booked in a way to where she's like invincible, but she's booked in a way
No.
to where it's like it seems like it's very difficult to beat her. And Lena
Yes.
Cross has already the same way, basically. So them
Yes.
together, it's like it's gonna take some shit to beat them. You know what I mean?
I think so. I even think you might even have to take it to like I don't know, like 2 hour three, no DQ, something kind of
Yeah, it's
match,
going. Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Get some weapons involved or like some endurance kind of thing involved. But you brought up the Brawling Birds, and I do like an idea of them having a long rivalry storyline between the two of them, with them like finally defeating
And
them at
that
the
makes
end of it.
sense. That makes sense from a babyface heel perspective, also.
Yeah, no, it really
That's an actual
does.
story you could tell long term, you know. And then there's plenty of combinations of matches that you can do. You can do Megan versus Jamie. You can do
Mm,
Lena versus Jamie. You can do Alex
yeah,
versus Megan, Alex versus
yeah,
Lena, tag
yeah,
matches. You could throw in trios matches in the mix too. You know, throw
exactly.
Penelope when she gets better, then
Yeah,
there's a trio, and then maybe throw, you know, another baby face on the other
there
side.
are
You
a
know what I
couple you
mean?
could throw in there. Yeah,
International pride team
yeah,
versus, you know what I mean? Like the anti-Americans versus the Americans, but the
that would be awesome.
anti-Americans are actually the faces because everyone hates
Yeah,
America.
well, it is 2026.
Yes. But nah, this match was booked exactly the way it should have been though. This was the right call. And
So true.
yeah, I love
So true.
I love Megan and Lena together as a team. Like they look incredible together.
Yeah, they really do. No, they really do. Yeah, shout out to whoever put this match together because it was told beautifully. It really, really was. Really fucking was. Like you forget, like you were saying earlier, you forget that well, I mean both of them really. I mean they might be like the tag champs, the first tag champs, but you know, Willow and Harley haven't been tagging for that long. And then you've just got like Lena Cross and Megan Bayne together. You wouldn't have even known. You wouldn't have even known. It was just booked so fucking
Yeah,
well.
they seem like they've been together forever. Like they've been a team.
Yeah,
Like
I know, right? Now, moving on to two people that already are quite thick and deep into their long-term rivalry. I don't think these two are ever going to be friends, ever in like ever.
yeah.
Never, 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 never. The world champion, the toxic world champion, Tekla, took on Darkstat. Darkstat's coming. She's coming back, people. In a 2 out of 3 falls match.
I love the way Stat came out the
Holy
gate,
shit.
just beating the shit out of Tekla at the beginning, like showing her, like, I know you hit hard, bitch, I hit hard too. What's up?
Fuck yes. Oh my goodness. She brought every single ounce of her fury and pumped it into her muscles and she
Yes.
clobbered Tekla. Oh my God. I was really surprised that Tekla got the first pin in that one. I really was.
Yeah, I kind of
Jesus.
was too.
Whew. She
I like
even
the way they did it though. Like she had to cheat to get it because I was like, Stat was beating the shit out of you in that first in that first one.
absolutely beating the shit out of her. And like we all know, like Tekla wins this match, but she doesn't even win this match. Like she won her title. She didn't win it clean. And I'm not
Right.
mad at that. Like with the whole like shenanigans with her first pin, she held the ropes and kept Stat down. Um, but this is what I love about Triangle of Madness, right? They're being real heels.
That's
They take
yes.
all the opportunities, you know?
That's what I was
They
gonna say.
they
Like, what's the point of
you
being in
say
a stable as a bad guy if you're not gonna cheat?
if you're not
That's
gonna
the
do bad
whole
guy
point.
shit. It's
That's
the whole
literally
fucking
the point.
point. Yeah, exactly. So
For faces,
I'm
it's for moral support.
mhm.
For heels, it's to cheat. That's the reason.
Yeah, hey, exactly. So I absolutely love that Tekla is
Yeah.
legit badass, like legit fucking badass. But she is not egotistically above allowing her character to also then dastardly deeds stuff because she's been doing it in hate and stardom. So you know, she's a great person to teach you the ins
Yeah.
and outs of wonderful faction dastardly deeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I absolutely love that. They the stat am I getting this confused? Stat got bloody again this time, didn't she? Did she? Or am I getting it confused? I might be getting it confused
Yes.
with Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
She
did.
what was it? Was it the stomp? on the no, I'm thinking of a different match. I forgot what it was.
Mm.
It was some outside spot though that she
It
took.
was an
And
outside spot. I want to say it was her,
did she hit the stairs maybe?
yeah, I want to say it was the toe trip into the stairs.
Is that what it was? Okay, yeah.
Was it the, oh no, it wasn't a toe trip. I can't remember what she did, but Tekla did something and fucking Stat hit like not the side of the stairs, but the actual like stairs that you look at when you're going up. And I just remember being like, fuck that.
And I think I said something too. I
Fuck
was like,
that
oh
for a
shit, that was
joke.
the I think I remember saying like, oh, that was the spot that Moxley lost his tooth. I think I
Yes,
remember
it
saying that
was.
at the spot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That no, that's absolutely right. It was the exact same spot. I love that he hasn't fixed that either, by the way. That bless his little heart.
Yeah.
Um, and then because this was in if I remember correctly, this was in response to Statlander pendulum it was what would you call it, pendulum swinging,
Yeah.
Tekla backwards and forward against each
It's
barricade in the
yeah.
corner like a fucking menace. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I was
Yeah,
like,
that
we've
was
lost
good.
Tekla, we've lost Tekla forever, she's gone.
Clearly she could take a beating. Because
Holy
holy shit.
shit. Holy shit. So Stats third pin. She didn't do anything dastardly. Like I keep saying, like Dark Side is coming, but I don't think that in a heel way. I think that more of like in a character kind of
Yeah.
way, with maybe like some little like dastardly stuff in there, but not like to the heel kind of point. More of like maybe, and not even a tweener.
Just
I
angry.
don't think. I just think she's gone a little. Yeah, yeah, she's angry. And she beat the living shit out of Tekla. Holy fuck. But yeah, Tekla ended up having to win with the dastardly shenanigans of the Sisters of Sin. And they had a lot of heel faction fun times.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great match. Great match.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Now
Such a good match.
I actually thought going in that Stat was gonna win the title back. One
Yeah.
because again, it was just a very heel heavy show. So
Yeah.
I just thought, well, some babyface has to win eventually. So I was like, maybe it's gonna be Stat. And there was that, and then there was the segment that they, you know what I mean? And then she was like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to do more than that to keep me down or whatever. I was like, oh, Stat
Yeah.
might win it back. Um, and then also because TK has done this with the women's title before, where he'll
Yes.
kind of hot potato it between one person and another, but like he'll have his idea of who he wants to be the champion for a while. They might
Yeah.
lose it for a little bit here and there, but they'll eventually, like Tony Storm, she's like what, a
Yeah.
four-time champion now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Four.
She's had like
Mm-hmm.
little losses here and there, like Saraya
Yes.
won the title for like a little bit, then Tony got it
Yeah.
back. And
Yeah.
then I forgot who else was the champion. Somebody else was Thunder Rosa, I want to say, and then she got hurt, and then Tony won it back.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, you know what I mean? So it's like she'll lose it for a little bit, and then he'll put the belt back on her. So I could
Yeah.
also see him doing that with Stat. Where it's like she'll
Yes.
have, like a 3 month reign, then she'll lose it for a month, and then she'll get it back for another 6 months, and then she'll lose it to somebody else who their actual reign. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
could see him doing that, but he just didn't this time.
Mm,
Like I think Tekla's
not this
gonna
time.
have a nice reign.
I think, yeah, I think they're gonna let her have a real good heel run because we haven't
Yeah,
had
I
a
think so.
heel champion in the women's division since Saraya.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, that was a long
And that was a
time
while ago
ago.
because it's been Tony ever since.
Oh, my bad. Mariah May. Mariah
Oh well,
May.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That was our last champion. And I don't think,
But see, even that she won it from Tony,
yeah,
and then Tony won it back from her at the end of that story. You see what I'm saying? Like
exactly. Yeah,
I
she
could
didn't
see
really
Stat
take it
still being the
on.
one to take it back from Tekla at the end of the day.
Mm. I
Like
could
it
see
still might
Tekla
be
losing
Stat,
it.
even
Yeah.
you know. Like just not yet, but maybe at, whatever the next one is, Double or Nothing, or, whatever's coming up next.
I think
I
Double or
could,
Nothing is coming up next, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
like whatever the next
Yeah.
big one is. Like,
That is yeah, I think that's the next big one. Yeah. If I remember
yeah,
correctly.
I could see it, maybe it'll
Mm.
be somebody else, but I could see it being Stat.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
TK is very
Um,
consistent with his women's division, like who's on top and stuff like that.
yes.
That's one
Yes.
thing I think he could do a little bit better. He could shuffle it around a little bit better just because he's got a lot of talent, but he's
Yeah.
consistent in the way that he books them though, so it makes sense. And it's like you
Mm,
can follow
mm,
along
mm.
with what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
good at the stories. It's just that you have a big pool of talent. So give us more.
Yeah. Ex- Exactly. And like we say, if that does mean like making more factions, we're all fucking here for it. Yes, please.
Yeah, you
Just
got to.
whatever gets more people kind of involved. Like, don't really want everyone having like, a total run like willy-nilly. But it would be nice if there were like still side stories coming in and out, just to give someone else a chance to build up their story to then, potentially fight for and win the championship. You need to have something behind you that the fans have watched you go through to be able to get there, you know? And you can't do that if you're not
Exactly.
involved, unfortunately. This is why we need more factions.
This is why.
The entire of Revolution has brought us to the conclusion that we need more factions in the women's division. Yes, please, and thank you.
Yeah,
Points have been proven here on Don't Call Me Diva this evening.
it's what we do.
It's what we do here. It's what we do. It's what we're good at. Is there anything else before we let these lovely people go on the rest of their day that you would like to say about Revolution before we feck off?
Not about Revolution, but there is
Oh
somebody
shit!
who I do want to bring up. Only
Yes. Ooh, I forgot about
because
that.
this
Cut that
is
out.
it's all good. This is Don't Call Me Diva. This is the women's wrestling podcast, and so I want to discuss my favorite women's wrestler of all time.
Mhm.
Um, somebody who inspired a lot of, young women that were growing up around the time that I was growing
So
up.
many.
You know,
So
if
many.
you were into skateboard culture or into, punk culture at all, all of the girls basically who were into that, like they all dressed like this young lady.
Yeah.
You know,
They all did.
um,
They all did. Yeah.
I've also always been a fan of, the high flying wrestlers, people who could do hurricane ranas and moonsaults, and you know
Mm.
what I'm saying, like, people who were the high risk wrestlers. And this was, from my memory, the first high risk women's wrestler that I ever saw.
Me
Um,
too.
so
Apart
I
from
immediately
of white ethnicity for me, yeah. Mm.
I in my wrestling history, I had never seen any before her.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, white, and I believe also like half Hispanic ethnicity as well, if I'm not
Oh
mistaken,
yes.
fluent in
Yes,
Spanish.
yes, yes,
Um,
yes. No, I think she is.
spent a lot of time in Mexico. I'm sure the
Hmm.
people want to know who we're discussing. So,
Do they? Are you
this
sure?
is Lita. This is Lita.
The beautiful leader that we
So
both
we
love.
definitely brought her up on an early episode of Don't Call Me Diva, where we
Hmm.
were discussing, the unfair treatment that she faced during, one of the storylines, um
Hmm.
you know infamous
Yeah.
storyline, right? So
Hmm.
we always wanted to make sure that we brought her back up so that way we could discuss all the positive things that she contributed to the industry as well, because
Exactly.
like I said, she was my favorite women's wrestler, and a lot of current women's wrestlers name her as their favorite women's wrestler.
Yeah, they
So
do.
she inspired so many people that are, just like the alternative style women, the ones who
Yes.
are the blonde hair, blue eyed, like, and nothing
No,
wrong with
no,
that, you know what I mean? But there's
no,
only so
but
many Trish Stratus's and Tori
yeah,
Wilson's and Stacy Keebler's, and then moving on, Charlotte Flair's, and you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
there's only so Tiffany Stratton's, there's only so many
Yeah.
of old that's gonna, you know what I mean, be different,
Hmm.
live more
Yeah.
bliss, like they're all, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah. And Lita was covered
but
in
without Lita, you
tattoos.
don't get right covered in tattoos, dressing, like
Mm,
a skater chick.
yeah,
And from her, you get your AJ Lee's, you get your
very
Sorayas, you get
much.
your
Very
Rhea
much.
Ripley's. Rhea Ripley's
Yeah.
inspired by China a lot as well, but Lita also,
Mm,
because that's
yeah.
that alternative, rock, that aesthetic. So I
Yes.
think a lot of the women give Lita a lot of credit for that, and I think
Yes.
it's well deserved.
I do too.
Like I said, as far as being athletic as a woman, back in those days, she was actually respected for her abilities outside of her looks, also,
Yeah.
which wasn't
Yeah.
always the case, with a lot of women. A lot of
No.
women, they were only respected for their looks, even if they could actually wrestle. People didn't
Yes.
care, but like with Lita, people cared and they
They
wanted to see
did.
her do moves and
Yeah.
do the Hurricane Ranas on dudes and hit her moonsault. Like people,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And then she was
Yes.
with the Hardys, and everybody loves the Hardys, So
They
it's
sure
like,
do.
especially back in those days,
Oh,
so it was
so
like,
hot.
that was the perfect group, Team Extreme. Like everybody
It
loved them,
was. Yeah. They were
So
great.
just
Yeah.
shout out Lita, and I'm glad that if it seems like people have let that the controversy go, and now whenever she does come back or whenever people bring her up, it does feel like people remember the positive stuff. Like it doesn't seem like that
Thankfully.
stigma is attached to her anymore, and I love that.
Thankfully not. Me too. Me too. Because that used to break my heart all the time when any conversation about Lita would come up. It would always be about yeah, why can't I say anything? The controversy, And that really pissed me off because she's such an inspiration for me as well. Like being a major fan of wrestling and a major fan of women's wrestling, finally seeing a woman like Lita in the Wobbly Wobbly was so refreshing. And it was so exciting because like she'd come out and you'd be like, oh yeah, she get to see like proper wrestling now, which was awesome.
Right.
It's like she seemed right. It's like she seemed to be, for some reason, allowed to have more. Not that I knew this at the time, but more like move freedom than what others were allowed to do in the ring.
Yeah.
And that was freaking awesome. So yeah, she gave me so much joy. I loved her. I dyed my hair like dark red as well. I was like, this is my moment. This is moment telling me that I need to dye my hair. And I did.
Yep.
Um, didn't go so far as like the G-string thing because your girl wasn't that quite, but definitely loving the alt girly vibes. Absolutely loved it. I love the aesthetic of the G-string over the pants though. I do have to say, I do love the aesthetic. I could not pull it off, but I do love the aesthetic. And many a teenage girl also did because Jesus
Yep.
Christ, they were everywhere. It really was wonderful. And like you say, the fact that she would just like literally throw herself at the male wrestlers as well just gave me life because I was like, oh my God, this can actually happen. It
Yeah.
can actually happen. And it looked legit as well. And it wasn't like her flying at them, then getting caught and having something happen to them. She was flying at them and taking them out. And it was like, oh,
Mhm.
so fucking good, so fucking good. On that note, I recently watched an interview. It was on what's the channel? Oh, No Holds Barred show. No Holds Barred show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it turns out that during this time that we're just talking about, that we're gushing over how amazing she was and how much I mean, because it wasn't just for women's fans. Like the entire wrestling fandom fucking loved Lita. Like everyone would go nuts.
Yeah.
She would be getting the hard word from the office quote, don't go getting the big head. Don't go thinking you're anything special. After big crowd reactions for her awesomeness would be received, she'd be told multiple times, you're not that special. Don't let it get to your head.
Yeah. And you know what? That's one of those things where it's like a collective punishment kind of thing.
Uh,
And here's what I mean by that, right? Because in this era, you have to think Sable, from what they say, got really egotistical based on her position in the company and based on how she was treated. So she started getting like the real big head.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
there were, there's rumors about like China, like when she started getting really popular, like I guess like she started, asking for money that she felt like she deserved and others felt like she didn't, that's up to, each
Mm,
his own. Um, but
yeah,
so
yeah,
I could see that being like oh, these women are starting to get out of place. So let's check Lita before she becomes the next one to, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So that's what I mean with the collective punishment thing, because they
yeah,
still do that even to this day. Like I think, like I was
yeah.
watching a video the other day, like, so they're trying to make it so this is a sort of unrelated point, but it is related.
No, no,
Like
yeah,
they're
yeah,
trying to make it so that nobody is bigger than WWE, right? So that's why, to a degree, they're sort of struggling to make new stars because they don't want anybody
oh,
to outgrow the product because it keeps happening. Hulk Hogan eventually became bigger than WWE. Stone Cold, if you want to say he was the next one, he's kind of bigger than WWE. The Rock certainly
definitely,
became bigger than
definitely.
WWE. John Cena
No, no,
became bigger than WWE.
yes,
Batista became bigger than WWE. Roman Reigns
yes,
is sort of on his way. If he chooses to, he can be out of here.
yeah.
They don't want that to ever happen again because they're like, we keep
Oh,
losing our main guys to Hollywood. We can't let this happen. So that's why
that's kind of
Cody isn't
unreal.
that next guy. They're keeping Cody at the wrestler level of fame.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, and I think
mm.
that's how they're going to move going forward. Like,
Yeah,
we can never let this happen again. So it's sort of that same mentality, but from back in the day with the
man,
women
that's sad.
at this point. So it's, oh, they're getting out of place. Let's remind of
Yeah.
their place. So I think it's that, you know,
That's so sad.
but
That's so sad.
it
Really is.
is.
She also, yeah, she also said because of the schedule, the mad schedule, which I'm
Oh
assuming
yeah.
they still have, she would have like a great match, but she wouldn't be able to like absorb it or think back on it. That's why she doesn't really remember much of her like major moments because she couldn't like process them because she said that she had to like get the fuck out of there and get on the way to the next
To the next
place.
town. Yep. They were
Yeah,
running all those
yeah.
house
It's like
shows,
fucking
so it was like they were
all over the
wrestling
place.
like
Yeah,
3, 4 nights a week.
yeah. And because of that, she was working with a broken back. She didn't even know she broke her back, but she broke her back.
That happens a lot. That happens so
Yeah,
much more often than it seems like it even makes sense. But like people
yeah,
are always wrestling with these serious ass injuries until they find
yeah,
out later, like, yeah, this is broken and it has been for 8 months. It's like, what?
yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why I walk with a
She,
limp everywhere. That
yeah.
makes sense. Like,
That's why. That's why I look like Matt Hardy. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, she said she was having issues with her back and she went to the doctor to have an x-ray and they were like, oh, okay, so how long ago did you break your back? She was like, I broke my back. I didn't even know. Fuck me.
jeez,
Jesus Christ, that is insane. But
that's a
she did,
sacrifice.
yeah, she did say that so her last run in the Wubbly Wubbly, she felt complete afterwards. This was in regards to a
Okay.
question about whether she'd want to like come back or anything. But then she did also say that the way that they treated her and then just went like, we don't need you anymore, kind of overruled that complete feeling.
So like this
So
last one,
yeah,
like
the
the like her.
last one.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So there may still be a potential opening for Lita to come back. Of course, I'm biased. I want her in AEW, But she'll
Yeah, I'm
probably go
like,
back to
if
Wobbly
she comes
Wobbly.
back, I won't see it. That's
That's
unless
the
there's
only
YouTube
problem.
highlights.
Yeah, yeah, that would be, yeah, that'd be me seeing it as well. Oh
Yeah.
dear. Yeah. But
Shout
yeah,
out
shout out
Lita.
to
Love
Lita.
you. I love Layla Gray, and
Yes.
Lita was the first woman in wrestling that I felt that way about.
Yeah. Me too. Mega, mega crush on Lita. We love
Oh
you,
yeah.
Lita. I'm sorry that you weren't able to absorb what you were in at the time, but we won't
You have
forget
a
you and we
great highlights
appreciate
though.
you.
I highly suggest you go back and watch all your highlights because you were
Phenomenal. We still need to take the books through the leader category as well. There's a little
yes.
private on the side, what's that word? Project we got to get onto.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
And we are one step closer as well.
We're so close. We're so fucking close. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me for
Thanks
Don't
for
Call Me
having
Diva, my
me.
friend.
It's always cool being
Anytime.
behind the camera, but I get to be on it today. That was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Your girl had to adult a lot,
Yes.
we so my bestie, helped me out an awful lot by being like, we can chat about Revolution and Leader. And I was like, I love you. We are doing this right now. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining me on this wonderful episode. I hope you loved it. I hope you learned a little something. I hope you go check out some matches. Don't forget, what was that thing called? Wet cake wrestling. I swear you have to go check that out. Your life will never be the same again. You need to see Stone Cold ET anal probing fucker. That was just going to live forever in my brain. So, what are your thoughts on this week's discussion, my dear sickos? If you so wish, you can leave them as a comment in the appropriate sections of wherever you may currently be. If you would like to also do a little likey and subscribey whilst you're there, we would be very grateful. Thank you very much. You can find me lurking threads, yelling at Vincels on Bex_Bastet. And you can contact me on Blue Sky, but that's a little bit too much social media for me, so I don't really post that much on there. But it's Bex-Bastet. Follow the show on TikTok. Don't Call Me Diva Show, my lovelies. Thank you to my wonderful producer Shane for being on the show and doing all the magical, wonderful things he does behind the scenes, as well as editing this madness. If you would like to check out more of his stuff, go check out the Ethos Media Network. It's a great channel. Join us at sickosclub.com. You've got to. And at Sickos Club on Threads. You've never met a more what now? Inclusive, smart, kind, and talented bunch of silly sausages who also happen to really enjoy wrestling. Yes, you are correct. Have you heard this before? This was Don't Call Me Diva. Women's Wrestling Rules! Don't be a dick.